time to get activated, gamers, because you're listening to the GigaBoots Game of the Year 2024 featuring Dan and Bob Video Games.
Oh no, Bob, why did we ignore it? Now the industry is burning down!
It's fine.
Chris Whoopart.
Can I AI generate a stable industry?
And Dr. Agro.
Whoops, the physical boundaries of a finite universe.
This part features outrageous categories such as... So grab your nuggies and Mountain Dew, gamers. Sit back in your race car chair and get ready, because the GigaBoots Game of the Year 2024 Podstravaganza starts right now! Yep.
Hello, and welcome to the final part of Game of the Year Podstravaganza 2024. We have all made it. We have Bob.
Hey.
We have Chris.
Getting ready for next year. Or this year, rather.
And we have Dr. Agro.
$70 games don't exist.
It is a myth.
Oh no, I already bought one this year.
Sucks to be you.
Oh shit, so did I, but I haven't played it. Maybe I can return it. It's a Steam game.
You did?
I didn't play Dynasty Warriors Origin.
Oh, Dynasty Warriors Origins, okay.
Wait, what were you thinking?
Oh, I was trying to be like, what game is more than $70 that even came out?
My game of the year this year. Spoilers, by the way, for a podcast that comes out 11 months and 3 weeks from now. You know, I'm so used to going, and the nominees are! In every single one of these, I actually feel weird not being able to do that at the beginning of this episode. For people who don't know, we're going to talk about our top 10, our runners-ups, and best soundtrack. It's possibly plural, best soundtracks. Past years, what we've done is we've had a person go from their runner-ups to their number one. This year, we're doing it different. We're going one at a time on every single entry. Exciting. Except for the runner-ups. We'll just group our runner-ups together until... Wait, no. Let's just keep firing individual bullets of runner-upses until we're all out. Oh, my God. This is awesome.
This is the only way Anarchy Reigns was ever going to get into a Game of the Year discussion.
If we ran one back then, it would probably have been way too high on my list.
It would have hit a few categories for fucking certain.
Yeah, it would.
Okay, let's get started. We're starting with our runner-ups. Runners-up?
It's runners-up.
Runners-up. We're going to start with Bob. Bob, shoot a runner-up out right now.
Mini Shoot Adventures.
That is also on my list.
It's a really good game.
It's a really good game.
Great little bullet Helda.
Yeah, it's a bullet Helda twin-stick shooter. It's really quite excellent.
Everyone knows what that is.
I feel like it's self-explanatory. It's a bullet hell Zelda.
Yeah.
Everyone knows it. Everyone loves it.
It's an incredibly traditional style. Bullet Hell Zelda.
I really like the tone the game has. It doesn't come off as overly artistic to the level of pretentiousness.
No.
But it does have a seriousness and a mystery to its tone that I do find delightful. I enjoy it. It's really cool that it's like a Link to the Past plus size world map. It feels like it feels a little bigger than that.
It does just feel bigger for sure.
Not quite as many dungeons or temples or whatever. And of course, there's only one world. It's not the dual world. But it's really quite interesting to play a Zelda game with Zelda-like dungeon design and mechanics, but with twin-stick shoot-'em-up style gameplay?
Yeah, and just being able to level your character up like in a Zelda 2-like way of you just get stronger and stronger. Like,
yeah. Like, how many are you going to shoot? How much damage do they do? How fast do you shoot them? Really, really special game. I could see many other years this would have made it.
Yeah, no, it's brought down a tiny bit for me because of that dumb super ending where you delete your save. But other than that, really good time.
Part of me wishes we had the giant bomb bit of them showing Game of the Year's past, allegedly, and it's just every time a writer writes in to say Brad sucks at video games, only it's Bob's like, Nier Automata is really great. brought down a little bit by that super ending that makes you delete your save, and this is going to be it every 7 years for the rest of time.
God, I would never say that about Nier Automata because that meant something.
This was very emotional, I promise.
It was not.
But I liked it when Nier did it, and I did it too, which makes me just as cool.
Sure, man.
But yeah, Mini Shoot Adventures was really awesome.
Yeah.
Really great game. Highly recommended. Highly recommended. That technically was yours, but it's also on my list. I'm going to go ahead and move to Aggro, though. Aggro, tell me a runner-up.
Oh, let's see how this is going to go. Grand Blue Fantasy Relink.
Whoa! That's...
Oh my god.
This top 10's going to be good.
Thanks to the list.
Yeah. No, that game is good. I really liked it. It just got pushed out for me. That's basically all it is. Like, I have nothing bad to say about the game. It wasn't me. You know what I mean? Like, it didn't make my list, and it's that kind of year where there's too much stuff that dug talons deep into my heart to push a game of this extreme and obvious quality out of my top 10.
Wow, this is a really compelling year. It's Grand Blue's really incredible stuff, and I remember when we did that spoiler cast.
Yeah, we all rated it real highly.
Yeah, I played through that game twice and then did post-game content.
Yeah. Insane.
Well, I guess that brings us to Chris. Give me a runner-up.
Unicorn Overlord.
Oh my god.
Oh!
Man, we're getting a lot of...
This is insane! Okay, go ahead.
I liked Unicorn Overlord a lot, but it just got pushed out. Like, it's that kind of year where shit just gets pushed out of your top 10 because you have so much.
It was a year of great quantity. It was many, many great things. So horrible things had to happen to good people.
And, like, yeah, maybe if it had had a little bit more of a character and story focus, it would have ended up sticking into the top 10, but it was the last thing I cut out. But I did indeed have to cut it out at the very end.
I guess I'll go and, I was going to start with the more obvious runner-up, but I'm going to have to do, just to match the pace of Aggro and Chris.
Yeah, right?
I have to do the one that was really up to the last second for me. Tekken 8. When I look at my top 10 this year, they are incredible experiences, and so many of them are wholly unique and absolutely amazing. Tekken 8 is the most fungible game that would have made my top 10.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's such a good Tekken. Its netcode should be better.
It's still the best Tekken netcode.
It is.
not even by a close margin.
It's the best couch I've ever owned. It still has mold. But no, like, the single player is fucking amazing in it. That game's really good. It's
the first good single player in a Tekken story.
Yeah.
Other than just playing through arcade mode and getting
Right. Because the cutscenes are great.
Yeah.
But no, it's probably, it's the best Tekken they made since 5. 100%.
They finally fixed loads.
Yeah, they fixed the loads. The resolution's something decent, unlike the Xbox version of 7, which was like 720p, even on a Series X. The loads are fixed. It's really great. I think the thing that holds it down a bit for me is that just compared to all the other experiences I could have this year, it just doesn't compete for that time. It's like, it's really rough from that angle.
Yeah. Like, I felt really bad about not even buying Tekken this year because everyone I play Tekken with moved.
That's right. The both of us moved.
That's true.
But no, it's really rough. I know I would have bought it and played it even more if they had done a pro update.
Yeah.
And that can still happen.
It can still happen.
But none of the stuff they're doing with, like Clive, sure, if I were already playing it, but I'm not already playing it. And it's like, it wasn't good enough to motivate me buying a copy because I was like, well, if we're going to play it, it's going to be me and Bob. So I wouldn't need a copy. In fact, it would be really stupid if I bought a copy and then just played it with Bob. But no, it's a great game with a killer fucking soundtrack, some really cool new characters and shit. really neat game. It's hard.
Yeah, no, it's strong year.
Yeah, it is a really strong year. Okay, we can move on. Bob, what's your next runner-up?
Crow Country.
Oh! Oh! This is insane!
I like this a lot. I think it's a great little like throwback title to like the original Resident Evils, and I think the art style is great, and I think the story is really good. But it just didn't quite make it in. It was it was really close. Like this was definitely the one of like, I wish I could get this on here.
Dr. Aggro.
Oh, this one hurt, but it had to be done. Sushi-ben. That game was a deeply gratifying emotional experience. It is also broke as fuck.
It is. That's sadly why I never considered it for my top 10. It constantly has enough bugs to drag the experience down.
Yeah, just something will break every. I kept looking at it going like, no, I love you, your family, but I'm not picking you for my dodgeball team. I'm sorry.
I'm more reasonable than that.
Okay, Chris.
Also Crow Country. Much for the same reasons Bob had. Like, I like it. I love the main character. I think it's really well designed. It just got filtered.
Now I have to go to the obvious one. Visions of Mana. Yo,
That made it even here,
Bro.
I guess.
Yes, sir, not appearing in my runner-ups.
yeah, I'm including the plush. Like,
Right,
that's,
like
that's
the
a
flaming
huge
plush is getting you a lot of
flaming
distance here.
plush. As I said when we first talked about it in the spoiler cast, in the middle big thing, that gave it 2 whole points easy.
Yeah.
Visions of Mana has an absolutely gorgeous art design when it
plush.
comes to flaming plush. Yeah, absolutely. When it comes to the environmental art in that game, it's basically immaculate. It leaves me wanting in no way. It is when it comes to facial animations, character rigging, 3D models of the great 2D character designs, the story, and also the story that I'm left starving. You can't have one of the most important characters in the game, the, as they call him, secondary antagonist, be a character creator looking model. What are you doing? Why does he look like he came out of a gingerbread man mold? Why does everyone have to do the weird dopey walk animation into a cutscene that's like, oh, everyone's dead. Let me just da-da-da-da-da, the same walk animation we do when we're frolicking. That game sure deserved more. Mana fans deserved more from it. I'm glad that director is now at Square Enix. Hopefully they do better by the fans in the future. Hey, Bob, do you have another runner-up?
I was iffy on putting this in here or not, but I'm gonna have put a runner-up for Echoes of Wisdom, Zelda.
Okay.
Not as good as Many Shoot Adventures, but still a very cool Zelda game where you have a unique mechanic that is interesting to use. Did not make the list though. Honestly, not even close. Like to near as close as like Crow Country. Still good. Still runner-up material, just not there.
You know, I'm used to Big Think Dimension having takes that make people tune out a little early. I wasn't expecting this game of the year to be full of that at the beginning. Dr. Aggro?
After a lot of soul-searching, Legendary Tales.
Oh.
This is a game that I have, if I take a step back and look at it objectively, much more affection for than it is good. Also, it's bosses. I hate the bosses in this game. The things it expects me to do without looking up a YouTube video to figure out what the fuck it wants me to do. This is a wonderful experience with a couple of big roadblocks.
I'm telling you, man, maybe we were supposed to only do the game in 4-player and then just bully the bosses because
It's entirely plausible.
it felt like we were getting there with only 2 people to pull aggro repeatedly.
Jesus.
If with 4, we'd be invincible.
Oh yeah, we party rocked that whole game.
Yeah, that game, there's something there that is deeply, deeply endearing. It's in some ways amazing that they have such a good realization of mechanical functions of an RPG in such a Diablo-like way when there is no money. There is unmoney, and the game is so expensive for all that unmoney. Chris.
Also, Echoes of Wisdom.
Saw that coming.
It's good, but I don't think all of the Breath of the Wild Tears of the Kingdom's mechanics they backported into the classic Zelda-type format really worked that well.
Yeah, it did. It left me wanting. And one part that really got to me is they stopped having powers to give you when you beat a dungeon, which they did for a few of them, but it needs to be all of them.
They stopped having that, like, switching to the Breath of the Wild, you can carry 100 million healing items. It's like, okay, but now every enemy does like 4 hearts. Why didn't I would rather just have 4 bottles and enemies deal 1 heart.
Yeah.
Like, it feels like they didn't meaningfully understand that these mechanics wouldn't work as well in this game. And that drug it down for me. Also, it runs really, really badly.
It does.
Like, really badly. Like a lot.
Worse than, like, full-on
Breath of the
Tears
Wild.
of the Kingdom, yeah.
Tears of the Kingdom, yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Guys.
Because that doesn't have stutter when I turn the camera the way this stutters when I scroll the screen.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I mean, that was why I didn't play it past the opening hour or so. I hope the Switch 2 can improve performance, and I'll play it then.
And frankly, like, the Echo stuff is cool, but this ain't, like, lower scale Tears of the Kingdom. Like, you're not building contraptions.
No.
There's not really clever answers to puzzles. Like, your echoes are very singular functions, and once you get one of each function, you kind of just have the answer to everything without even really thinking about it. Like, most things I just solved with the spider. It's like, climb the wall, spider. I'll glue myself to you, and you'll take me up the wall.
Yeah, the 2 main movement implements in the game: spider and bed.
and tile that flies.
Yes.
I'm actually out of runner-ups. I do have some apologies. Apologies to Fantasian, but it's your fucking fault you came out halfway into December.
Yeah,
You're a giant-ass RPG, man. What are you doing?
Yep.
Also, an apology to Behemoth and Metro Awakening VR. I literally didn't play either. I bought them even.
Oh, no.
I needed to be sure of my feelings on other games that were very large at a more important scale than the notion that Behemoth might secretly be my game of the year, which, note, it might. I wouldn't know.
So, unfortunately, it is not.
So, unfortunately, it is not, for the sheer essence of I did not play it in the period we consider valid for the Game of the Year 2024, which, weirdly enough, does include over a whole month of 2025.
Luckily, it's not the games are released in that month. Otherwise, we'd have to be
Dynasty Warriors Origins, go, go, go. I gotta beat Phantom Brave. It's just weird how Dynasty Warriors Origins is my Game of the Year 2024. Also, a parking garage rally circuit. Yeah. Yeah. Aside from that, Anyway, that's about it. That's about all I got going on there. Bob, do you have another runner-up?
I do not.
Aggro, do you have another runner-up?
I do not. I do have an apology.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Romancing Saga 2 Revenge of the Seven. I got far enough into that game to figure out what it was throwing down. I was really interested in it. I want to finish it. I'm going to finish it when we're done with this. Unfortunately, real world calamity conspired to completely destroy my opportunity to play more of that game.
That is really fucking unfortunate.
Yep.
Chris, any more runner-ups?
I would also like to apologize to Romancing Saga 2. I didn't even boot you. I'm sorry.
But the ghost is so funny sounding.
I will enjoy the ghost when I get there. I have another runner-up also. UFO 50.
Oh.
UFO 50 is really, really cool. There's a million cool little games in it. I will probably, before I am dead, get a gold cart in all of those. Maybe.
Shit.
But it just got pushed out. There's so much shit this year.
Man, I guess I should apologize to UFO 50 because I didn't boot it. Like, it's on your Steam account. I could have.
Yeah, Bob was just like 50 games. I don't got time for 50 games.
And also Anton Blast. I like you, Anton Blast. I didn't get to beat you, so this is simultaneously an apology and you were good enough that I might have put you in the top 10, but you still got you got pushed out. I got like 60% of the way through and went, you're just not quite good enough. I'm sorry.
Oh, God, I guess I have that exact situation with Bakaru.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I got like probably 80% through the game. It was like, you're just too long, man. You aren't doing anything enough interesting, and you're too long.
Yeah. When I finished the gigantic chunk I had played and it was like, congratulations, you're just almost at 20% done. I went, you've got to be fucking kidding me.
Yeah.
There's no human on Earth who wanted a Goemon game to last this long.
No.
You know what I would enjoy? Fun and whimsy. For like 6 hours at most, probably ever. Look, the dog transformed. Yeah, I know he does that. That's kind of how I felt like it would feel by the end of the game. Because I saw enough transformations. I'm like, this is great. How am I a fifth done?
Right.
What the fuck? You think my ass is going to be sitting here clapping at this dog transforming 8 more times? So that's everyone's runner-ups and apologies.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm going to do one of those fake rap apologies where I just go, yo, Anton Blast, I like everything about you but playing you. That's why you're not on my list. Oh. Visually awesome. Watching other people play it, awesome. Musically awesome. Artistic inspirations, being the exact era of cartoon, fucking great. I get nothing out of hidden buttons and watching you respond to that. I literally get negative shit out of that. I did not expect to not enjoy you. Oops. Well, I think that means we're now at our top 10s.
Oh, my God.
Now, in the spreadsheet here, it's actually arranged Dan, Chris, Bob, Aggro, right?
Okay.
Now, I wasn't going to go left to right. I wasn't going to go first. But I thought it was really fitting given what just popped up on a couple lists.
Uh-huh.
My number 10, UFO 50.
It made it on.
It was so close between you and Tekken, bro. At the end of the day, though, UFO 50 is really something special in that you don't often get to crack open. It feels like the early days of emulation, when you could jump into this catalog of games you had never seen or heard of, ever. You get to believe in this world, much like you could with Retro Game Challenge, the Game Center CXDS game, where it's just like, these are games from this era. This is something they thought was okay to do. And that feels great. I really love it. And one of my favorite games is Pilot Quest. Pilot Quest is really fucking good. It's a mix of a Zelda sort of overworld / dungeon exploration and a weird idle game that you do at the base to build up resources and stamina to explore the Zelda world for longer. It's a really great experience. It's one of my favorite games on that. I have a really complicated relationship with the game. I'm trying to remember the name of, I think it was Garden Runner or something. Mechanically, that single screen action puzzle game just is wrong. And I feel like I should be able to write scientifically why you made your game wrong and you should have to remake it. But it's like 95% I love that game. I sat there and played that game for 4.5 hours. Spiff sat here the whole time as I'm cursing it. I'm like, wrong, incorrect. That is not how that should work. That is not how that ever worked in a game like this. I'm angry. And then I would hit play again. It was the Pop Team epic bit. Oh my God. Fuck this game. I'm never playing it again. UFO 50 is really, really awesome. I really like the thing. The funny thing is, unlike a lot of people, I'm not really endeared by any of the gold cart shit. I don't give one fuck.
Huh.
I don't give a shit about your meta layer. Oh, there's another. I don't care. I don't care. These are just neat games. Thank you. Thank you. Have a great day. There's even more games for me to find because, much like Bob, I too had the same reaction of 50 games. I don't got time for that shit. So I still haven't played every last game in the 50, but I have played the vast majority. And I've had a myriad of experiences. And that right there is why UFO 50 is special and deserves to be celebrated. Because if you average the score of these games, oh my.
It goes negative.
That's not a good way to do that. There's some games that are intentionally dog shit, it feels like. Anyways, with that done, let's move on to Chris. Chris, tell us your number 10.
This is going to be contentious. Astrobot.
Whoa! I have an idea why.
I liked Astrobot a lot. It's a slick, gorgeous game with good gimmicks, and stuff like the shrinking gimmick is genuinely revolutionary, I think. That could be an entire game.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I'm not the biggest fan of its structure. Like, I'm getting tired of this. We're a linear level, but also find shit. And I would rather 3D platformers be one or the other.
Mm-hmm.
And this is we must judge art within the context it exists. And frankly, Sony glazing themselves this hard right now feels frankly sick.
Yeah.
And maybe if they weren't completely brain dead and on fire, this would be higher. But it's like, look at all, we remembered this franchise we will never support or give you another game in ever. Aren't you happy? It's like, no, not really. Because to be brutally honest, Sony, most of these franchises are better than Astrobot.
Well, here's the thing. You need to keep in mind they're also showcasing IPs from third parties that third parties will also not make new entries in.
Yeah.
And get real mad about on Twitter.
But yeah, that's that Astrobot. Get your shit together, Sony.
That'd be nice. Okay, Bob, we're coming to you. What's your number 10?
Parking Garage Rally Circuit.
Hey.
This game is really cool.
Whoa.
I wish more people played it. It is the closest thing to Ridge Racer in a long time that I've played. Just learning the way to drift around every course and nailing those times they want you to get. It was a lot of fun. And oh my god, the physics and stuff are so goofy at points. It's like, I can't believe this is even working. Especially with all the random objects in the environment that have physical interactions. Like, oh man, that kind of breaks the game.
Are you sure it should be doing this?
I think of the Chicago course, which is the most unhinged when it comes to that. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. People should check it out.
Dr. Aggro.
Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2. The promise of the 7th gen shooter fulfilled. Huge, gruff dudes in highly improbable equipment grunting their way through enormous set pieces flooded with hundreds of enemies while your AI squad mates and you swap between two weapons as some vaguely political betrayal plot is happening over the radio. Except it runs, and it feels really good.
Whoa.
Every couple of minutes, you're doing something new that is super cool, and you get a sick-ass weapon to do it with.
I realized one game that I really needed to put in my apologies.
Oh, yeah?
Emio the Smiling Man.
Oh, whoops.
I didn't finish it because I wasn't sure it landed my top 10, and I already had so many giant RPGs to contend with that were important for categories and top 10. For people who don't know, that's the Nintendo Famicom Detective Club game that came out this last year on Switch. It's real cool. It has a giant demo, just like so many of the games. I'm sorry. Did I interrupt on Warhammer? I felt like you came to an end, but...
No, yeah, I was done.
I should have checked. Okay. I'm like, I think I know aggro pacing, but what if I'm fucking wrong and an asshole? My number 9 is Mighty.
What?
It's Crow Country.
Oh,
Crow Country is a mighty game to go in my. What were you thinking? What? Anyways, Crow Country is a fantastic game. It feels like one of the best qualities you can have in your Resident Evil like game is to be super runnable. To have these cool things you unlock for doing cool things. I really enjoyed the story, the setting, the visual aesthetic. It's a really great time. I was floored. It was made by the Clipper Snips people, or Snipper Clips, Clipper Snips.
I think it's Snipper Clips.
Snapple Club?
Yes. You can only get it at McDonald's.
I think it's a really awesome game, and it's really something special. It also accomplished that thing of doing an analog filter for your game, but it actually looking good for once. Good job, team. That's it. Chris, your number 9?
My number 9 is Trails Through Daybreak. Good music. I really like the character designs. It has one of the best dubs I've ever heard in a game. Just everybody delivering 10 out of 10 performances. The mechanical changes are real good. They really need to cut some of the fat out of these games. The director and CEO of Falcom has gone on record saying he thinks their games are being 1 million hours long is a selling point. And I'm like, this game would be better if you cut 20 hours out of it. It would just be better, and it would be a lot higher on this list.
Yeah, I know, that's why I dropped it. It was like, this is moving. It should be moving.
And I feel like this is one of the worst ones in that regard, of just being like, move. It's like, would you like 8 more side quests? And I'm like, I'll do them, but no.
Give me a menu toggle.
Just don't even let me know they're there. And
the ending segment really has a really big, long section it didn't need at all.
Oh, really? A Trails game?
Yeah. I can't believe a Trails game has a big section of the ending that the game would be better if it wasn't there. So yeah, that's why it's number 9. I liked it quite a lot, but not as much as other things this year.
Bob, your number 9?
Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. After my response to the first game, I think people would be surprised that it's even here.
Yeah, I think they should be overjoyed.
I liked all the side content a whole lot. I think they fleshed out the characters super well. Every single mission with Gilgamesh is incredible. Like, I don't know if you got to see any of those. That's all the ones that they're protoplasm or whatever that you go collect in each zone that gets you a summon. But they always have a really goofy thing, like playing a mini game and you get teleported inside the mini game, and it's like a bizarre digital space. And yeah, it has like a nice sense of humor to its side content that I feel like doesn't get into the main story as much. But this is as high on the list as it can go when I don't like the gameplay, like the combat at all. And I don't like the ending.
I wish I did every last Queen's Blood thing on the map. Because Queen's Blood's great.
Queen's Blood is great.
It's so great. I really like how the lore of the universe is built into the lore of the card game. Because they're talking about the queen dying, the blood infesting the earth and creating monsters or whatever. And I'm like, ho, ho, ho. I really enjoy the world in that game, and there's a lot of joy in the side stuff.
Yeah, as I was playing, I was like, this is the first time a Final Fantasy has felt like the scope it's supposed to be since the PS1. It's been decades.
since at the latest 10.
Yeah, I never signed up for 10 because like, no, they got rid of the world map. It like killed it for me. Like my brain just like, nah, you're not right.
You're like, this isn't a world map. This is a DVD menu.
Yes.
What the fuck? Yeah, no,
you have to play 30 hours to get to that DVD menu.
Good. It really opens up when you hit the DVD. Yeah, no, it's really awesome that we're back here now, and I'm begging you, Square Enix, make a new game.
Yes,
that is this scope.
Even if I had the gameplay I didn't like, if this was a brand new Final Fantasy or new IP in general, it would probably be near my number 1.
Yeah, I think that would also,
like, there's a lot of leeway you get from doing that.
Yeah,
and if you made a turn-based, Jesus, oh my God.
Anything else?
No, that's it.
Okay. Hey, Aggro, what's your number 9?
The Thaumaturge. Story-focused, alternate history, Polish wizard noir, turn-based RPG.
Yeah, they sure made a game just for you.
They sure did.
They sure did.
Ooh.
Thank you, Aggro.
Yep.
My number 8 is the game that some people on this podcast called Doomed. The game that everyone thought was absolutely going to bomb. And then we all looked like assholes. Helldivers 2.
Once again, to be fair to us, we thought it would be $70.
It
To
would
be
run
fair
at
to
30. It runs 30 frames per second.
yeah, no, every fucking trailer's 30. I'm like, ain't playing that shit. Fucking, you kidding me? And then it turns out, oh, there's a 60 frames per second mode. Also, this game's incredibly deep and nuanced. Maybe they should have, I don't know, explored any of that in any of the trailers instead of having fake party chatter.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot explain the level of not revealing the depth of Helldivers to you. They still didn't do it.
No.
This many months after launch, they haven't even come close to implying the depth of gameplay and mechanics in that game.
Yeah, it's just part of the current Sony thing of they have no idea how to advertise games.
Everyone at Sony marketing team should be fired. Everyone at the executive wing is on their way out currently. This is absurd. This gunplay is orgasmic. It's so good the exact way it feels on both mouse and keyboard and controller to fire these guns. The fact that your movement is so physics-based and all these things like explosions affect you appropriately. The awesome scale of the game, the awesome visual fidelity of the game, the cool mechanics of fighting Terminators versus alien bugs, the variety of weapons and call-ins and everything is so nuts. It's such a fucking good game. Jesus. And quite frankly, damn, when I upgraded from my 5900X CPU to my, what is it, 9800X 3D, holy shit, the upgrade in fluidity and insane frame rate buff from a CPU upgrade. I was like, oh my God. Now I'm really glad I got this on PC. Holy shit. Helldivers 2 is an absolutely stellar game. Watch Sony completely fuck up the studio who did it.
Oh, it's their only successful of this service game genre. Please.
I know. And the weird thing is it's that successful and it isn't as service gamey as basically any other service game.
Uh-huh.
The only time they did the FOMO shit for real was the Killzone shit.
Right.
Which, congrats, you FOMO'd my ass out of buying any of it, dipshit. That's why FOMO doesn't work that well on me. I'm so fucking busy, I always notice when it's too late and I go, oh, now I'm just angry. Good job. We're now moving to Chris for his number 8.
My number 8 is Shadow Generations. This is half a game, both literally and in terms of the content. But at the same time, it's the best 3D Sonic probably ever.
Yeah.
It has fun levels. It has good, interesting mechanics and great boss fights. If Sega can make a game with twice the content of this at this quality, the world would treat it as if they made Sonic Odyssey. People who make video essays would burst into flames and turn to salt. And it would probably be my number 1 of that year. But as only being half a game, it can only reach number 8.
If they make a 3D Sonic game without a weird veiled layer for the story to not be you moving between areas and events happening, and it felt like this, and it was a full-size, yeah, that's probably my number 1 too, Chris. Because I didn't like having to sit there and just in Frontiers talk to holograms.
Right.
And having so few zones and having the story basically go nowhere the whole time. And then this, it has the whole weird void, right?
Yeah.
You get rid of that.
So like if they
they
could make this just make this game that takes place in a location
Right.
instead of a void,
Maybe a
and
city.
have twice as much content.
And then you have to escape from that city?
Yes, you have to escape from that city.
Yeah, Shadow Generations is great. Hey, Bob.
Hi.
What's your number 8?
East 10 Nordics.
East 10 Nordics.
That's right.
I hear it has a functional bird.
It does have a functional bird.
It does have a functional bird.
No one gets glazed.
Let me ask the AI how that would look, though. Computer, please draw an illustration of how that would look.
But yeah, I really enjoyed this. The open world map with the boat section felt like just big enough to not be overwhelmingly large and feel like it was filled out. Like it felt like it's obviously like an Assassin's Creed Black Flag, but downgraded, but in a way that I enjoyed quite a bit. I even liked the raid islands, which were we went over super budget Dimension E, but I was enough encouragement to go do them. All the side content was a super mixed bag, but I still mostly enjoyed it.
The game has everything. It even has fishing.
It does, which I didn't do much fishing, but I think the combat was just good enough to be enjoyable.
Yeah.
And I had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And the best designs for Adol in a long time.
And the story doesn't make me want to put an ice pick into my brain.
No.
Wow.
Carja's cool too. Not as cool as this Hugel, just so we're clear. That bird's functional.
Yes, the bird's very functional. I should know that this game was on my runner-up, but I so clearly put it into runner-ups like over a month ago that I forgot to write it there because I just went, oh, there's no way.
Okay.
I've spent over a month going, there's no way, just looking at my list.
But I am a sucker for cheap action games.
Yeah, no.
That throwback to a PS2 style action game.
To me, this is the acceptable bar for an action RPG. If your action RPG is worse than East 10 Nordics, you shouldn't have made an action RPG.
No. And most people shouldn't, because this is a pretty good game.
It is, yeah. Oh, that's excellent. Agra, what's your top? All 8. No. What's your number 8? Let's go with that.
Animal Well.
Ooh.
This game is a tsundere. I'm sorry. That is the best way that I can explain it. It acts like it hates you and doesn't want you to see all of the cool stuff it has hidden inside, but really, deep down, it just needs you to try harder to understand it. Clearly, from content we've done earlier, that's not going to land for everyone, but god damn, if you're in the strike zone for it, it's fucking magical. The atmosphere, the pixel work, the platforming, this game, when it's not doing some incredibly esoteric horseshit, fucking sings.
My number 7, and this is the first game. Well, I guess UFO 50 technically is the first game on this list like that, but, you know, that was individual games, so that's different. But taken broadly, it also fits in the same category as this. My number 7 is Romancing Saga 2's remake. I did not beat that game. That's fine. I had a great fucking time on that game because I did not kneel to that game. And I will not rush my playtime to kneel to that game to allegedly legitimize its entry on my list. No, it's my fucking number 7. I loved every second, and I will not play that game on its terms. I will play it on mine. Hashtag no emperors left behind. What a fantastic fucking game. I love the visual fidelity of it. The only thing I dislike about the visuals is like, if an enemy is like even 20 feet from you, it runs at like 30 or 15 frames per second, and it looks so funny doing it.
It's the best.
I think it's great. I think that it's amazing that the Trials of Mana team was able to come over here and remake Romancing Saga 2, and it's incredible. I don't know what they're up to next, but I'm very interested. I'm inherently interested in whatever their thing is next.
They should get to make another Mana game that maybe is new and isn't Visions of Mana.
I'm sorry, next time I'm remaking Chrono Trigger.
Dan, you gave a remake of Chrono Trigger your game of the year. Oops.
That's right, bitch.
Do it again.
Yeah, do it again.
Remake it again. I'll buy it and put it at the top of the list.
I like the fact that the fidelity is so high you can see Chrono's nipples through his shirt.
Remake the remake. We'll fucking go.
We can keep doing this all year long. Yeah, Romancing Saga 2 is good. Chris, what's your number 7?
My number 7 is Grand Blue Fantasy Relink. Grand Blue Fantasy Relink is a really fun lean action RPG. Due to being so lean and linear, it can have lots of fun set pieces.
Hell yeah.
And cool moments. And also due to being so lean and linear, it can have lots of playable characters. It even comes with a free multiplayer mode that is honestly pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's fun.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad they didn't completely ruin the game by deciding that needed to be the focus of it, and also it should be a platform.
Yep.
Yeah.
You remember when single-player games came with multiplayer modes?
I do. I played Warhammer Space Marine 2 this year.
Well, Bob, what's your number 7?
Tekken 8.
Whoa, that's one number too high.
I know, right?
That's an 8, Bob.
First off, Ease 10's in your number 8 slot. Tekken 8's in your number 7 slot. Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth is in your 9. Do you even know what numbers are?
Gotta sort your shit out, young man.
Bob, tell me about Tekken 8.
Tekken 8's a pretty cool game that's not afraid of anything.
Wow.
It's not only got the story mode we talked about earlier, but it has the arcade story mode where you go through actual, like, Japanese arcades and beat other people who are Tekken weirdos and Harada and the other producer of the game. It is a lot of fun. It's really goofy. It teaches you the mechanics of the game. And I've had a good number of fun online matches in this game as well. I'm finding out I do not like it as much as Street Fighter 6, but that is a very high bar.
Yeah, they're also very different.
They are very different.
I actually, in all honesty, I forgot to check out that arcade mode. I only played the normal arcade mode that gives you a story cutscene at the end. Where I believe her name's Azucena, has the coffee company or whatever.
Yes.
Oh, it's...
Yeah, no,
that one's great.
Those are incredible.
They are so good. I was laughing so hard. I had such a great time.
I'm very glad they kept up that tradition of having those.
It is the soul of Tekken.
I'm also super disappointed that DLC characters do not have those.
Yeah, that upsets me.
But at least I got that story with Heihachi.
He just wants the Mishima style back.
He just wants the ultimate technique of the Mishima style. Just give him that.
Just give it back and he'll leave us alone. Hey, Aggro, what's your number 7?
My number 7 is Metro Awakening.
Ooh.
As someone who's never played a Metro or a Stalker game before, being thrust into this vision of a man-made hell was a potent experience. The meticulous mechanical design centered around tactile interaction, both with the world and your inventory, aggressively fixed me into a sense of place that felt like being trapped in a nightmare. Except, unlike my actual nightmares, in this one I had an AK and pipe bombs with nails taped to them. Like, it's said a lot, by me, about VR, that one of the really fundamentally compelling things about it is the sense of place. And there are times playing this game where I just looked around a cramped corridor and felt like I was several meters underground listening out for some kind of mutant rat dog thing while press checking a Tokarev. And that's the kind of feeling that sticks with you.
Hell yeah.
Mutant rat dog thing seems like a South Park creature.
It looked a little man-bear piggish, I'm not gonna lie.
My number 6 is Slitterhead.
Oh, wow, climbed high up there.
I genuinely deeply love Slitterhead. I'm going to spoil a bit about Slitterhead to express my love for Slitterhead. Slitterhead being this time loop game about these invasive beings taking over and corrupting people and turning them against people who love them in order to further corrupt this small story, this small part of this region. And the game being like the first person you, the spirit, the being, the traveler, run into is this very empathetic soul, right? This person who cares deeply about all other people. And then you hit Alex. Alex is a badass with a motorcycle helmet and a shotgun who just wants to kill the hell out of everything. And his abilities reflect that, and the arc of the story is about that. That man is committed to fucking genocide of these beings to the very grim end. And that is a fucking great experience. More fucking video games need to have the balls to tell a story like this in this way. I would say more, but it would involve an insane amount of spoilers. Also, you know your boy loves Third Birthday. It's really great to get another game in that genre, another game that gets it. Fuck you, Unknown Night Awakening. You simply do not get it at fucking all. Slitterhead, it's great. If you constantly talk about how great Sony Japan was and how bad everyone was for shutting them down, maybe you should fucking buy this and shut up. I'm going to take away your opinion card. You don't get to have opinions on the internet if you're saying that nonstop and then you didn't buy the new game from the guy who made Siren. Anyways, hey, Bob.
It's like your library card.
Yeah, they don't get to have any more opinions. It's the excommunicado. Slitterhead's great. Anyway, hey, Chris. What's your number 6?
My number 6 is the Dragon Quest III remake. Dragon Quest III is the origin of every single thing you've ever heard of ever. It is completely astounding that a game originally on the Famicom feels so enormous and full of secrets and cool and has good mechanics and the world is so well designed and it understands the joy of becoming strong. You go from shitting your pants when you reach a new continent and the enemies work you to being like, this boss is nothing to me. The only reason it felt dirty to put it any higher than this.
Unlike Chrono Trigger.
Correct. But the Dragon Quest III remake is one of the best experiences I have had this year and really made me realize, wow, games have regressed we lost so many techniques. This game feels bigger than fucking Skyrim. It was on the Famicom.
It is an oxymoron how the higher the fidelity things get to make a world more realized, the smaller the world gets.
It starts to feel like you're in a theme park.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bob, what's your number 6?
Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance. Again, I know that that's not the right number for that. That is a 5 and not a 6.
I was like, what is he talking about? Oh, right.
This is also in that position of I cannot put it any higher. I would feel dirty putting this higher than 6 because it's a re-release, like a game I played 2 years ago.
Yeah, but it's a really good re-release.
It is a really good re-release. It would probably even, I would push it even higher if the final chapter wasn't almost entirely a retread of the original final chapter.
Yeah, that's kind of a bad way to end things.
Yeah, especially after that middle chapter being incredible and brand new in every way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, but it was so nice coming back and be like, oh man, this game is like done now.
This is great.
Yeah, it was horrifying going like, oh yeah, this thing. Oh, that wasn't in the original. What?
Yes, there's so many things like that. And it adds Naho Biho. So obviously. It's at least number 6.
This is just math. Dr. Aggro, you're number 6.
This is where Astrobot lands on my list.
Ooh.
It's Astrobot. It's a good game. Everything Chris said about it is correct. The good and the bad. But, you know, it's at the end of the day, I am human and therefore able to ignore things that I don't like about things that I do like. So it's a really great time.
You missed the opportunity to segue into being Rodney Dangerfield with, but enough about my wife!
Well, that finally gets us to our top 5. But it actually gets us to our best soundtracks of the year. We're each going to shoot out a soundtrack until we're out of nominations for best soundtrack. Because I can't choose one. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I never... This year especially. We're gonna go ahead and start this with Dr. Agro. Agro, do you have the best soundtrack?
I tried real hard until I realized I was just listening to other soundtracks, desperately going, does anything here clear Metaphor ReFantazio? And the answer was no. It was obvious. It was so goddamn strong.
It's true. It's true. It's also mine.
Yeah, of course.
Anybody not have it as their number one?
No, it's my number one too.
I refuse to give numbers.
Yeah, fair.
I'm a coward, and I live a coward's life.
It's hard not to be ensorcelled by Metaphor ReFantazio's leitmotif.
Mm-hmm.
It is truly a fantastic soundtrack.
If I have to sort them, then I would say yes, it's my favorite. But I also want to showcase, hey, you know what had an amazing soundtrack? Astrobot.
It did.
Astrobot had a fucking stellar soundtrack. Now, here's the thing, though. I better not see another Astrobot game after this. You have done these songs and these ideas musically outside of the direct homage moments enough times. But that Ape Escape theme is fucking incredible. The Uncharted remix, incredible. All of these songs are really, really damn good. At no point was I like, this song isn't a bop. The whole game is a bop. But I have to be honest, yes, Metaphor lands above it. It's not polite, though. I don't want to think in those terms. Ignore the fact that's what I'm doing for the games themselves. Chris, I assume Metaphor was also on your list.
It was.
What else is on your list?
East 10 Nordics. That game has a really great soundtrack.
Yeah, it does.
Falcom games always have really great soundtracks. The fact that their entire music philosophy, I believe one of them said in an interview, is we want to make tracks that you play in your head while you're doing stuff later.
Mm-hmm. Choosing the song for the podcast that we did on that was so easy because it's such a great soundtrack. I knew the exact one that captured the exact essence I wanted going into that. That has some great fucking music with full of excitement.
And since I know for a fact nobody else is going to say this game in this segment, Infinity Nikki.
It's
Infinity
true.
Nikki has a really in-depth soundtrack with a lot of really great tracks. I am particularly fond of some of the boss themes that you get, which I do not know the names of them at all, because why would I? It's a song in Infinity Nikki. I don't even think most of them have official names.
Bob.
Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Yep.
I actually liked a good bit of the remixes they did with the old stuff, but some of the new stuff, like the dog song, incredible. The song that plays while you chase a dog around the overworld, and the song literally has bow wow wow in it.
Yippee-yo, yippee-yay.
It's really good. I don't even need to talk about the rest of the soundtrack. I don't remember it nearly as well as the dog song.
I mean, there's stuff that's just brilliant, like mixing together the Genova theme and Aerith's theme for the Genova boss at the end. Like, that's a really great track with a really great concept. And even the ship, all of the Genova themes just go hard.
And then there's the main track for the game that's done by Uematsu. That's the one that Aerith things, which is really great.
Yeah, that fucking song that plays at the Golden Saucer that she sings was the peak of the game for me. All of the moments around that and that song itself are just holy shit. Aggro, do you have another game you want to showcase that is beneath Metaphor?
I did have a soundtrack come really close to Unseating the King. And it was a surprise to me. It was the Thaumaturge.
Really? Huh.
Yeah. No, this soundtrack is stellar. It's low strings and woodwinds and balalaika, and I think at one point in Alberizi's theme, what might be a steel guitar run through a distortion pedal. It it just exudes mystery and danger the whole way through. It is the one other than Metaphor that I've just had on repeat.
I'm going to be greedy and try to beat Chris to it. Like a Dragon 8. Those beats are so good. It got video game music and DJ The Last Seahorse to play the Yakuza games based on that. The battle themes and shit are so good. Now, keep in mind, again, this is my first Yakuza, so theme of sad, very new to me. But the battle music is incredible in that game. It just goes hard, and it is fucking stellar in that way. Chris, any other nominees?
Not that haven't been said, no.
Bob?
Oh, Shadow Generations.
Oh,
but
yeah.
That's mostly just remixes of existing Sonic
they're
songs.
really good
But they're
remixes.
really good.
Mm-hmm.
Having the orchestral version of All Hail Shadow is really
Yes!
fucking good.
Yeah, it is. Bob?
Tekken 8's really strong.
Yeah, no,
of course.
that was like, he's got to save me saying.
I don't enjoy it as much as some earlier Tekken soundtracks, but it still is just really exciting.
Yeah, the entire Tekken pantheon lives in the shadow of Tekken 5, and it's not fair, but but
At least
this is a stronger soundtrack than 7, and I liked 7.
Yes. And the main theme is very memorable, even if it's because I think about it because Dan keeps saying like some AMV hell thing over it.
Oh, is it the AMV minis thing?
Oh my god.
I'm trying to remember. It's been a while.
Yeah,
but like that one honestly does.
Oh, sucks to be you. I know it's true.
I know. Oh God.
Jesus.
Yeah. Okay. No. Yeah. Yeah. The soundtrack's really fucking great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's all I got. I wonder how the Final Fantasy 16 music sounds in that. If they're just taking like one of the Ifrit battle themes.
Yeah, I did hear it, but I can't remember it.
Okay. Aggro. Any other nominees?
Unicorn Overlord.
Damn you! You beat me to it. God damn. I felt safe nominating like a Dragon 8. It's like, this is great. I'm gonna get to say Unicorn Overlord. That overworld theme is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
It's so emotional and moving, and it's like one of my favorite parts in the game is the sound of that song.
It's real good.
How did they do it? How did they keep? Oh, right, Base Escape.
Yeah.
Base Escape is how they keep doing it.
Honestly, I think the only reason that Metaphor clears it is because the Metaphor soundtrack is so unique and original.
Yes. Also, the Metaphor soundtrack is a religious experience. It is engineered to be that. There is a point it is that. That is why it is that. It's powerful shit. It is the experiment, the wild scientist experiment that went completely right. No one could have gone and done that as well. But yes, Unicorn Overlord soundtrack is fucking good. I thought it was going to take it, and then I played Metaphor enough, and I was like, oh, fuck.
Right.
Yeah, I meant to go listen to more of Unicorn Overlord's music again because I honestly, the last few weeks, just started listening to 13 Sentinels music again.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was certain for almost all of last year that Unicorn Overlord was going to take it from me.
It is really strong.
And then I hit like a Dragon 8. And I was like, okay, they're both really close. That Unicorn Overlord overworld theme is so good. And then I hit Metaphor, and I was like, God damn it.
Jesus, Sega owns all three of these. This isn't fair.
Oh my God. Sega do it all right, as it turns out. Did anyone have any others they wanted to throw out there? Because I have one more.
SMT5 Vengeance has a lot of new tracks. Those were good. And it was mixed in with all the old stuff that was really good. So I'm not even sure which was new. So I felt bad being like, oh yeah, it's the best one. Because it's like, yeah, that was great 2 years ago.
Sir, this is a greatest hits album.
Yes.
You just nominated your best album of the year is the greatest hits. Did I stutter? No, the demon debate theme is really fucking good.
Yeah, and the Love Left theme is always
It's
good.
yeah, no, it sounds like an entire DAW is crashing as the musician is making the crunchiest, loudest song they can. Genuinely listening to the Shin Megami Tensei 5 leveling up theme in my car was when I went, should have sprung for a few thousand more and got a better speaker system. Slitterhead. Bob, you got to experience a decent bit of that during the stream. That is very Yamaoka. It's very moody. It's very powerful stuff.
Yeah.
Slitterhead has a damn good soundtrack. That soundtrack is worth listening to outside of the game entirely. That is good music. It is drenched in the feeling of the world. It is drenched in this horrible, doom-filled future. And that feels great. Because that one's fictional. Oh, God, I'm just thinking about Slitterhead. The worst part about Slitterhead is the only way I can talk about it and what makes it so great. Even sitting here talking about the soundtrack, I have to keep myself from spoiling the absolute hell out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, does anyone have any other nominees for... And by when I say nominees, it's like, whatever, we're not actually ranking these.
We're not ranking these.
That would be... I think we're giving it to Metaphor. I think that's what we discovered just now talking about it, but... anyone else? Any other games? These other games are so strong. I was going to bring up UFO 50, but it doesn't really step to this.
Yeah, these are kind of crazy, powerful games.
Yeah, there's some good songs in UFO 50, but good God. So, ending out the best soundtracks of the year, I now get to talk about my number 5 game. Might sound a little familiar. Metaphor ReFantazio. What am I going to say about this game? As the person who gets to talk about it first, I could say anything. It would be novel for this podcast. But it feels like we spent 3 months now glazing this game.
It's a little bit.
It feels absurd to ever talk about it on content. Off content, I can just be like, hey, Bob, you know what's cool? This thing about it. I think it's amazing when you enter the battle, the king's face looks down on you in the battle and it transitions which way it's looking in between the two cuts of the two sides fighting. All these different mechanics with the game when it comes to leveling up your character and how that interacts with things. It's funniest pop up in the world where it's like, I feel like this guy wants to talk to me, but I'm not sure he wants to hear from me because of my weak imagination. Yes. I don't have the courage to say what this guy wants to hear. This feels like a classic fantasy story of yore between good guys and bad guys with a lot of depth and political understanding injected into every aspect of it. On top of a game that has taken seemingly all the strengths of Shin Megami Tensei 5 and cranked it up higher while also eschewing the monster collection, of course.
Yes.
Well, there's the summoner, but that's not the same.
No, it's not the
That's
same.
not the same at all. It's a fantastic fucking game. It is supremely enjoyable. The only failing of this game, objectively speaking, is its performance on console and the fact it's like 720p. I don't understand. Even the people dissecting the render timeline on PC go, I don't know. They just did a bunch of work and then never used it. I'm looking at what it's rendering. It just did an insane amount of work for the city and then used none of it. Cool. So that is the one thing I think they should improve. That is the one thing where it's like, bro, if you could have just made it look a little bit less like a PS3 game and slightly higher res, that would have been great.
I mean, the rest of the game's done. We need something for the special edition.
Jesus. The special edition main character looks like Clive. Yeah, it's really just character animation and fidelity, and that's like it. And it's not really fidelity in the way you would think it, right? It's not like I'm asking for ray tracing or anything. I'm asking for a decent resolution and
Right.
steady 60, but that's really it. Metaphor ReFantazio is fucking great. We're lucky to get a game this good in a year. And I, regrettably, forcibly, had to put it at number 5 because I have a lot of games I have a lot of strong feelings about this year. That's it. We're moving on. Hey, Chris, what's your number 5?
Infinity Nikki.
Nice.
Found it.
This is like if Square Enix made a AAA game that was a low-stakes 3D platformer. You collect Skittles. You have fashion battles with clothes you collect and roll for in a gacha. That part I could do without. It has nice music and is very, very pretty and has an interesting designed world with things in it. It has shockingly competent boss fights and platforming challenges. I may be chemically addicted to it because I cannot stop playing it. But that's my number 5. I forget what I put Genshin as the year that came out. I think it was around 5 also. So that's where these high-end gacha console games come in if they get me.
Bob, what is your game that is similar to Infinity Nikki and Metaphor ReFantasio in that it is your number 5?
Kinitsugami Path of the Goddess.
The Path of the Goddess.
The Path of the Goddess. Yeah, this is a super interesting fusion of action game and tower defense. And honestly, it's some of the best like tower defense controlling mechanics I've played in a game. Just how easily you can select your units and distribute them is incredible. It's so cool to see Capcom do something so unique in the space. Like it's so interesting. Honestly, it almost got up higher on the list. I still am even in the bathroom earlier, like, oh, maybe you can go up to 4. Mm-hmm. And I was like, no, that's all right. You can sit here. 5 is a perfectly high number.
Yeah, I'd say so. I just put Metaphor there.
Right?
The top 5s are in no way bad games. Hey, Agro, what's your game that is like Infinity Nikki, Kinitsugami, Path of the Goddess, and Metaphor ReFantasio?
That's quite a broad target.
Yeah. Mario 3 just breaks him.
Tactical Breach Wizards.
Oh, damn.
It sounds like a bit. It probably started as a bit. What it turned into was a deeply human story about responsibility, control, and deciding what you're willing to live with. Also, one character has a wizard staff with AR furniture. It is a beautiful, multi-layered, constantly expanding puzzle masquerading as a tactical RPG. Don't listen to Bob. The game is genuinely funny. I loved every moment playing it.
This brings me to our number 4. My number 4 is Grand Blue Fantasy Relink. This is the game they told you could never happen.
It looks like it wasn't going to happen for a few years there.
We told you it was our most anticipated game, and man, did it live up to that. It is my number 4 in a completely stacked year. Grand Blue Fantasy Relink has an amazing, huge cast of characters you can play as, with equipment setups, amazing set pieces in the single player, and absolutely cool aesthetics that are pulled off at such a high fidelity you never imagine. It literally has never been done like this before, and I can only pray it could be done like this again. This game is incredible. It is a gem. Why weren't you a Mana game?
Sorry, Dan. Everyone who worked on Mana needs to leave Square Enix and make their own company where they make their own Mana game.
With blackjack and hookers. Damn, Grand Blue Fantasy Relink. Why are you so great? Anyway. Hey, Chris, what's your number 4?
East 10 Nordics. East 10 Nordics presents a better future. It's not a very expensive game. Falcom's yearly operating cost, I think, isn't even in 8 digits. But it's really crisp and clean and runs good and looks nice and has good music and decent gameplay and has ideas.
Damn, that's the whole package.
Frankly, I would trade... There's not very many AAA games I wouldn't trade for a game roughly the same shape as this.
Yeah, that's
and if
fair.
that happened, the industry would probably be in a lot better place, too.
100%.
No, only the biggest gambles.
Why'd you have to fuck it up, Falcom, by announcing another version of it 2 months after it came out in English?
Yep. Nope. That felt awful. And then knowing that version probably won't be handled by the same people when it comes over on the PC side. Mm-hmm. Feels even worse because some of the most fun I had with that was because of the PC co-op.
Yeah, right. Like it's super goofy.
Yeah. Bob.
My number 4 is also Grand Blue Fantasy Relink.
Whoa!
Hey,
This is just where it
first one.
lands. Yeah, it's a great game. The only things that I have any problem with in it are it's so much of an investment to build up a character for the post-game stuff that switching to another character, which the cast is great and huge, it feels impossible to do, though. Like, it's just like there's such a big time investment to do that. I don't want to.
Have you considered simply spending hundreds of hours playing the post game?
Right? That's what I'd have to do.
It's true. Even with help, that is how that would go.
Yeah.
You could easily sink 40 hours into one character and be like, cool, I'm geared up to do later post game stuff, but I'm not done.
Right. And I wish the dodge felt better. But other than that, really cool game, great set pieces, amazing art style, like one of the prettiest games of the year, easily.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it probably is the prettiest game. It's crazy how good it looks.
This is the game we all imagined like could have happened during 7th gen when all this tech is going into really expensive hallways for very Western IPs, very Western game genres. Mm-hmm. Just being like, man, if that much money was thrown into an RPG, that'd be sick. Oh, hey, here it is. We got a fucking Colossus bit. We got amazing hurricanes ripping up the ground. Everything's so amazing. We got the boat sequence.
Yeah, the boat sequence. Jesus.
God, what a game. Hey, Aggro, what's your number 4?
Lorelei and the Laser Eyes. Playing this game feels like being dropped off on a deserted island with a thermos of coffee, a Rubik's Cube covered in letters and strange symbols, and a book of Czech nursery rhymes. Being told that you will be picked up when you find the payphone that clearly isn't here, call the secret hotline number and recite the 3 passphrases.
There's a new season in Twin Peaks?
In the midst of playing this game, the reason it's so high on this list is at a certain moment, I stopped, put the controller down, and thought, oh my God, I don't think I've felt like this since I was poking around in the first 2 Myst games.
Wow.
It is stylistically powerful. The density and breadth of different types of puzzles all interwoven and stacked into each other. It is a Hellraiser cube of interesting gameplay. I wish I'd played it earlier in the year. It is a wild thing to try and pitch with a trailer.
So are you excited for me and Bob to stream it, for you to scream while gagged up in front of a chair watching? It's the only God forgives bit, but he's watching our stream.
Honestly, like with this game specifically, I thought about that. And I think for this game, I would be watching the stream going like, oh, they haven't figured it out. They don't remember where that piece of information is. Understandable.
So we're moving up to our number 3s. My number 3, it was really close between it and my number 4. And honestly, my number 5. Oof. Unicorn Overlord is a master of the genre it's in. It has never been done better. That game feels like a dream to play. It has amazing music. It has unparalleled 2D art. Absolutely fucking incredible game. That's it. I'm done talking. I don't need to say anything else. It has one advantage over 13 Sentinels. One really strong advantage over it. It is way more replayable.
Yeah.
That is the one downside to 13 Sentinels. Hell of a ride once. Maybe not as much multiple times through. But Dragon's Crown and Unicorn Overlord are very, very replayable. I really do want to do another playthrough on a higher difficulty.
Oh, yeah, I bet that'd be fun.
This is the exact game that you just that thought lived in my head the whole time through. I'm like, oh, I want to do a second playthrough on a higher difficulty so bad. Unicorn Overlord's great. Vanillaware keeps making the most important games in the industry. Chris, what is your number 3?
Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. This is the first Final Fantasy they've made since 10 that feels like a complete full-scale game on the level Final Fantasy should be. I love the expansion to Final Fantasy VII's universe. I love all the weird lore it includes, like Shinra doesn't need roads, so there aren't any. Or how did this area escape exploitation? Well, they're too far out of the way and it's a pain in the ass to get there. So Shinra didn't bother. I wish they onboarded you into the combat a little better. I still don't think they really do nearly a good enough job about that. Frankly, the whole project needs Doom Eternal tutorials.
Yeah, it does have the gimmick of you should scan every enemy. They all have a different tactic to use.
Yeah, they all have some weird thing that isn't immediately obvious, especially bosses.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like you shouldn't make a game that feels like it's designed for you to really have fun the second time. And I wish they, like I said in an earlier episode, I wish the story didn't feel like they were trying to simultaneously change no actual events, but recontextualize them to have this weird meta plot. Like, I wish they had gone either this is just a remake of Final Fantasy VII, or this is deviating. But it's still a really great game that I liked a lot, so it's my number 3.
Yeah, I wish it deviated more. Or was completely straightforward. That's also where I saw it. Because as it is, the vast majority of the game's identical to the
vast
text
majority of the game's identical. And I wouldn't even be so annoyed about that if the ending of the previous one hadn't been with, you killed Destiny.
Yep.
Now things will be different. And it's like, or not.
Yeah. Yeah. Bob, what's your number 3?
Astrobot.
What? Tell me about Astrobot.
This is a fun platformer. All the songs involve singing about Astrobot.
They worked really hard on those lyrics.
They did. But yeah, it's really delightful. A bunch of different mechanics. We've already been over. The time-stopping mechanics really cool.
Oh, God, is it ever in the casino level?
Yeah, the casino level is great.
Oh.
The level where your sponge is great.
Yep.
Every time you get a new mechanic, it's something fun, and it basically doesn't ever, I say, welcome it. Honestly, I could go for extra levels for any of them. And it has really good boss fights.
Yeah, it does. Stellar fucking video game.
Yeah, no, incredible. Of course, yes. There is the lingering bad air about Sony, but whatever. This game was really good, at least.
Yeah. Aggro, you're number 3.
Crow Country.
Hell yeah.
Damn.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
This may have been partially fueled by the fact that I didn't play any of these games growing up. But this game felt like so whole and realized and perfect. It's like smooth, parentheses, not derogatory.
Smooth, not brained, smooth shelled.
It just had amazing style, very, very good environmental puzzles that felt natural to the environment, an interesting story. It did, like, I remember the first time I set eyes on the putting gold into rocks machine, going, I have no idea what the fuck is happening here. And that's such a rare thing in a video game when it's good. You know what I mean? Usually that's a very negative experience.
Yeah, the first time I saw that fucking conveyor belt machine, I'm like, this has to be a core mechanic of the dumbest fucking idea I've ever heard. And it was.
Wow. Is this made by a Florida businessman? Oh, God, it is.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Just an incredibly well-realized exemplar of its genre. It does everything it set out to do. Immaculate.
You know, as we said in the spoiler cast, or I said in the spoiler cast, it really is a perfect fusion of the things that are great about Resident Evil playthroughs and Silent Hill playthroughs. It is the strengths of both of those horror game genres fused into something that isn't modeled directly to be either. You know, the gameplay is not like Silent Hill, and it is not like Resident Evil either. They changed it enough.
Mm-hmm.
And that is so great. You never get that.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God, the visuals too. Just the way it looks like a fixed camera PS1 game, but you can turn the camera.
Yeah.
Oh.
You know, Aggro, you said with your number 3, maybe it has something to do with the fact you played literally none of those games growing up. That kind of parallels my number 2. I have played none of these games, period. My number 2 is Like a Dragon 8. People tell me, they're like, Dan, you don't get it. This would hit way harder for you if you played 7 or 6 or 5 or 4 or 3. And here's what I have to say that I have the incredible ability of empathy. When I hear Kiryu tell these stories, I feel them. Especially the one where he's like, and I was in ancient Japan.
And I dropped the nuclear waste.
And I was like,
it landed on my balls.
It's crazy, dude. The novelty of all these gameplay styles to me and all of the songs and things in it possibly hasn't empowered it more so than the opposite would make me appreciate the story moments. I've learned so much about Yakuza through osmosis. And then in this game, they do a great job of building the context for people who don't know. You know, it's not your Hollywood movie like, oh, here's a cheeky reference to a thing from another thing, and we're going to hang on this for a moment and then stare at the camera. No, there's him explaining what this person meant to him and how he misses them. And he wonders how they're doing now as Kiryu goes through all this. It is a powerful game with really fun mechanics, this giant scope, and simply there's so much to do and all of it's fucking fun. An absolutely stellar game, easily one of the best of the year. It has been so hard to rank these top 5. Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth is a great motherfucking video game. If there was a problem, it would be that it doesn't have a pro mode to get rid of the bad temporal anti-aliasing.
No.
Hey, the next game does, though.
Yeah.
It is a pro mode. Might use Pisser. Who knows?
Yeah, you never know.
We'll find out when we get there. Chris, what is your number 2?
Metaphor ReFantazio. Metaphor has every strength of a Persona game operating at the highest level it's ever been with none of the flaws. The party members are the best they've ever been. The combat is the best they've ever been. The villain is the best it's ever been because, well, Persona usually doesn't have those. But it's great. It manages to be a game that feels like it's not only about the moment, but has something that's interesting to say about the moment that isn't annoying, stupid, or preachy. I never once even considered that after Persona 5 they could make a game this good. 10.
Bob.
Unicorn Overlord.
Oh, I was scared for a second. Could have been some other unicorn.
It could have been. Yeah. I don't know what else to say about this. We've already talked about it a good bit. It is the best version of a Tactics Ogre game possible. Like, so much. Like, I honestly, in the lead up to this, I always, like, I lose face. Like, yes, I know they're not where they don't miss, but come on. I didn't like the N64 Tactics Ogre battle games. Those were bad. And I play this and I'm like, oh no, this is incredible. How'd they do this? This seems like an entirely different genre, even they did it so well.
Bob, here's the thing. Here's what I learned about Vanillaware games. When you get the box, you don't look at the tags. You just go, I'm going to have a good time. It's got the name on the box.
Right?
I'm about to get into a new thing.
Yeah, that's just how I have to operate now. Like, just buy it. It'll be good.
Yeah.
Like, it's not going to be bad.
God,
That just won't happen.
I literally can't. They are on such a streak from Dragon's Crown all the way to now. Nuts.
Yeah, no. Absolutely crazy. Yeah, and heck, I don't think they've had a bad game since Muramasa.
What was it? Iwata who was saying that Vanillaware is like the most important.
I think it was
developer?
Sakurai.
Was it Sakurai? Okay.
Yeah. Like, buying Vanillaware games is, at this point, a categorical imperative.
It is.
You know what happens when you buy a Vanillaware game? 2 things. 1, you get to play a Vanillaware game. 2, Vanillaware gets to make another Vanillaware game.
Yeah.
Yeah, because every time they do have to be like, yeah, we can't keep doing this unless this one sells. Incredible 2D art. Story is not great, but it didn't even matter. It really didn't. I'm filling out a map. That's what mattered.
And marrying some girl who smelled me. She says I stink good. I'm going to marry her.
It'd be so messed up if every one of them was that.
Oh my God, could you imagine? You look like my mom. You stink good. We got a thing. Hey, Aggro, what's your number 2?
Metaphor Refantazio. Oh man, what can I say about a game that means I never have to actually play a Persona? That allowed me to live out 2 of my childhood fantasies. Having friends and beating up Griffith.
It's okay, Aggro. You should play Daybreak. And if you like that, then basically you can buy Persona and it'll just be better that.
Oh! Bob has turned 2 ends of the GigaBoots fan base against each other. This comment section's going to be spicy.
I don't think Persona has the anime trash factor as much as Trails does. I don't think it has the right juice. I think Aggro
that
would
really
like
is the
Daybreak
precious
more.
sauce.
It has its own, a different set of anime trash tropes. Okay.
Oh yeah, no, like it's pretty anime, but it's not. It's not that thing.
Okay, Aggro, how about this? How about you pick up a Persona and a 6-pack of Miller Lite and then listen to the song Hot for Teacher on loop while playing Persona 5?
Gonna play any. I will play any Persona game live on stream, drunk out of my mind until I get canceled.
Wow, that was a short 1-stream run. That was very brief. This is it. We're at our number 1s. My number 1 game is Final Fit. No, of course. Come on now. You know what my number 1 is. It has been obvious for months. I don't need fucking context. What I have is a firm belief that if everyone made a game like Astrobot, the industry would be better and we would have vibes like it was the PS2 again. Astrobot is a game that is brief, it is glorious, it is visually impeccable, it is fun, every moment is amazing, it's full of joy, every mechanic is new and interesting and interacts with the controller in a completely novel way. What an incredible fucking juggernaut of a video game. I could ask for nothing more because that would be insane. Astrobot is one of the best games ever made. I will hear no arguments. Hey, Chris, what's your number 1?
Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. This game delivers emotional catharsis on every level while also just being a great story. Its core thesis about empathy and forgiveness and also how you should kill YouTubers is really great. It's unbelievable to play a game with this amount of money and promotion that, 1, is about people in their 40s. 2, multiple of them have been homeless. And 3, that's like, moral Puritans should die. It's also a great turn-based RPG that understands the joy of becoming strong. The mini-games are all fun. It's full of amazing character moments and fun characters. The way Kiryu's bucket list feeds into his mechanics is revolutionary.
It is.
Other games could wish that they could merge character mechanics and character development into a single thing as well as this. It probably wouldn't have been number 1 if I hadn't played every previous game in the series.
I'm going to be honest, it was almost my number 1. I was really back and forth on this. Like, really back and forth. Like, I changed it less than 24 hours ago. Bob, what is your number 1?
I think it's pretty obvious.
Astropod, you gave it your 3rd and number 1 slot?
Bob, you're really bad at numbers.
I am.
The fucking worst. How can its number 3 be 3 and 1?
Metaphor Refantazio. Oh my god. I didn't think they could do it. I like Persona 4 and 5 a lot. And somehow they made a better game in every way. That seems ridiculous. If you said that's what they were doing next, I wouldn't believe you. And here we are. Man, it really is satisfying on basically every front. Really cool mechanics, really great visual style. Like, just the art direction of this game is crazy. Like, it may not be that high fidelity, but man, firing on every other cylinder for that. Yeah. And then, man, 9/11's a main plot point in the game.
If you want to talk about it, go ahead.
No, it's okay.
I'm almost there. It'll be fine.
No, it's fine.
Okay.
Man, what a game.
The amazing thing about it, okay, it's the whole game leading up to that makes that normal somehow. Like, I feel like playing up to that point, you go, yeah, of course. It feels so natural in this fucking insane world you've created.
God, yeah, and then every time a new reveal happens, it's like, oh, that's what you, oh man. All the stuff late in the game. I'm not going to spoil it, but Jesus. I was super satisfied with all the things they explained. And all those side stories with the, man, compatriots? I can't remember.
Partisans.
Is that what they called?
That's what they were calling them in the end game.
Okay. Yeah, every one of those was a lot of fun, especially Brigitte's, where she was almost tricked into going to murder an entire village.
Yeah, no, that was really great. They're like, yeah, they took your dog. Go get him. Oh, thank you, the church. I will now go burn down a village. Man, those church folk, they're so helpful. Aggro, what is your number one?
Unicorn Overlord.
Oh my God.
In the end, the difference came down to vibes. I looked deep inside and realized that I tremendously appreciate everything Metaphor does. But every time I think about Unicorn Overlord, I feel warm inside. And I'm talking about remembering, like, adjusting equipment in the menu. I'm like, yeah, that's the good stuff. Oh, I love that game. It's so good. It's so nice. I feel better remembering it right now.
Okay, well, I'm already in a process of tallying up our votes. Let me just finish that and we'll see how this shakes out so far. Because for people who haven't watched before, we actually have a GigaBoots patented, we simply give a point distribution. So that way the beginning of this discussion could be sane at all. It saves us a shitload of work. Let's see how it shakes out. Gentlemen, I have tallied up the points for the places we gave all these games. This is by no means a final ranking, of course. We have to discuss this and figure this out and shout up the games that maybe not everyone played or appreciated enough. Aggro, I look forward to your valiant effort for Animal Well. Reading this from rank 1 to 26. Whoa. Metaphor Reef Fantasio is currently at the top with 35 points. Astrobot is in second place with 29 points. Unicorn Overlord is in third with 27. Giant Drop to Grand Blue Fantasy Relink with 20. Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth with 19. Crow Country with 13. Ease 10 Nordics with 13. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth with 13. Then we drop to the single digits for all the rest of these, which will be mostly 7 6s and at the end 5. Infinity Nikki, Kinitsugami Path of the Goddess, Lorelei and the Laser Eyes, Tactical Breach Wizard, Slitterhead, Romancing Saga 2, Revenge of the Seven, Helldivers 2, Shadow Generations, Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D, Tekken 8, Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance, Metro Awakening VR, Animal Well, UFO 50, Trails Through Daybreak, Parking Garage Rally Circuit, The Thaumaturge, and Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2. And it is worth noting, most of those are just, they were only nominated once, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think this might be the least crossover we've had in a whole ever.
I mean, yeah, literally the single vote games start at rank 9.
Yeah, that's crazy.
We didn't even get 9 games of crossovers on voting. Not because we didn't play a lot of the same games. Just some people put games in runner-ups. Some people didn't put any of that game anywhere. Some people like Animal.
Yeah. No, I knew looking at my list. I'm like, oh no. Like 4 of these nobody else played, and a couple others nobody else liked.
Agro, I'm pretty sure the year that Chris brought God, what was the fucking name of that game?
Oh,
The detective game where you're the...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God, now I'm blanking.
I know, isn't
Disco
that...
Elysium.
Disco Elysium.
Oh yeah, Disco Elysium.
one else
you had
played
No,
it.
that campaign was fucking legendary.
That is
Yeah,
always
I was the only one who
possibility.
played it, and it was number 1. I really had to dig in and fight.
That's the interesting thing here, though. Unlike that, where it was Chris's number 1, and he was the only one who voted for it, none of us gave even, like, the games that don't have overlap didn't even make our top 3s.
yeah.
That's the interesting
that is-
thing here.
That is weird.
Yeah, the high end is really similar this year. That's interesting.
Yeah. So, yeah, and I got that number exactly right because our top 3s gave 10, 9, and 8 points each. So they start at 7s. So all of the games here are like 4s and below.
Yeah, that's really crazy.
It's such a great year, though. That's why there's so much variety in this list, you know? It is worth noting that we got a code for Metaphor that I never used. And we got a code for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. So all of our opinions are forfeit.
Not me. I bought everything.
Oh, okay. I think I also got a code for Romancing Saga 2.
That's not even on your
I bought
list.
that also, even if I didn't play it.
That's on my list.
Oh, it did make it to the list?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't see
Yeah,
it.
my list it made it.
I thought it was the runner-up or something. My bad.
That's just how you felt. Chris didn't get a code for Dragon Quest 3, but I technically got a code for Dragon Quest 3. But then I want to beat the original first, and my brain broke. I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. See, we couldn't say that at the very beginning of all this, because then it would reveal what things would appear.
It's true.
And that's why. Holy crap. Okay, how do we start this discussion?
By putting Metaphor at the top.
It's already
already
at
there.
the top, baby.
I feel like we should maybe lock it in at the top.
One moment. Maybe you and I could get infinite wealth above it.
No, I'm not
Damn
even
it.
going to try to argue that.
Damn it.
Infinite Elves can definitely go up. I don't know if it can beat it.
You don't think it could be number 1? His afro's so good, though.
His afro's good.
He nails like 5 ladies in that game, I've been informed. Okay. How do we bring infinite wealth up, though? We would have to put it above Grand Blue Fantasy Relink.
I'm fine with that.
I would be fine with that.
Like, I'm the one who got Grand Blue Fantasy this high, and I'm like,
Okay.
it's okay. Actually, I guess you and me had it tied.
If you are, well, for me, it was a tie between first and second place for Like a Dragon, where I was like, oh God.
Yeah, but for Grand Blue, we both had gave it fourth.
Yes, because it's great. And honestly, it was much higher on this list for most of this last year.
Yeah.
I was really close to giving it my number 1. This is hard.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a regular listener, though, you might notice I'm really quick to just be like, it's my number 1, but I don't know. It's really high for me, but I understand. Okay, we'll just move it that 1 slot for now. How about that?
Yeah.
We'll
I feel like we might have to start having problems like eating Unicorn Overlord. I don't know, man. I don't agree with that, but I'm willing to hear it out.
I think we should turn discussions lower.
Yeah, that's easier.
We got to figure this out because let me do this game. We have 20 whole games below 6.
Yeah.
We have 26 games on this list.
Now, obviously, we should just lock in with Infinity Nikki and Kanutagami down there. Obviously, at 9 and 10.
How about this? We give Infinity Nikki 10th place, and we put Final Fantasy VII Rebirth at 11th, so that way we can drive engagement and nothing else. That's. I just want to drive the comments up.
But those people are always going to be mad no matter what we do, so there's no further engagement to be driven.
You don't think there's a pain threshold for some of them where they activate like sleeper agents?
No, in fact I don't. In fact, I think the pain threshold for those specific types are very, very low.
Yeah, this is actually really hard to rank because there are so many games. I think Aggro and I should get a baby. We should get to bring up a baby of ours.
Okay.
You know, because you and Chris have a 7 rebirth, right? That's already as of right now in the top 10. I feel like Aggro and I should get a baby of ours. Hey, Aggro, what baby do you want to bring up?
Oh, this is terrible. Like if I've got 2 children hanging over the cliff and I can only save one.
And if you try to bring up Animal Well, I'm gonna cut the rope.
Oh yeah, no,
No, that sounds fucking hilarious. I want to hear that argument.
I knew that had no fucking chance in this room. It's like some disease that only I'm immune to. I'm like, oh yeah, no, that was really great. I got to stay home from work and I had no side effects.
Right, exactly. I had a great time in those rivers, in those swamps.
It would be a rough call for me between Lorelei and the Laser Eyes and Tactical Breach Wizards. 2 complicated, esoteric games that nobody else has any experience with.
I am amicable to Tactical Breach Wizards. That seems like a neat game that I just didn't fucking have time for.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Lorelei, you'd kind of describe it as hell.
Yeah, but
But like
the
cool.
good kind.
Yeah.
Right.
The hell that plays Vaporwave on a broken speaker on the other side of the parking lot.
So you see, if a puzzle game goes, here's your tools, solve the problem with them. I'm like, neat. And it's like, okay, here's the game. I'm like, well, what do I do? Figure it out. It's like, I'm leaving. I'm leaving. I'm pouring diesel out as I walk, and I'm throwing a match behind me.
Aggro, I'm sorry, you have to choose one you're going to champion. I mean, you could try to bring both up. You can try to make the argument that Infinity Nikki and Kunitsugami are trash compared to them.
I would feel so bad doing that to Kunitsugami. I feel like I did it dirty this year.
I will willingly demote Infinity Nikki for being a gotcha game that morally nobody should play.
Oh, hell yeah, I'm down for that. It also is frame capped at 30 frames per second, so it's unplayable.
That's also honestly pretty bad. Luckily, it doesn't have fucking TAA, or at least the lightest TAA I've ever seen, so running at 30 does not kill me.
Yeah, that helps. Yeah, okay, I'm going to bring it down. Here we go. We're just going to temporarily.
So, Dan, what are you thinking about bringing up?
Is it Slitterhead?
Whatever gave you that idea? Yeah, it's motherfucking Slitterhead.
Yeah, of course it is.
That game's fucking good, dude. That game is a jam. That game is like all the positive qualities of medium tier 3D video games. That PS2 era, that PSP era. It has all those vibes, those things that coward shit motherfuckers won't try anymore. Nah, that's the level. You didn't solve it. You got nothing done. Fuck. Yeah, I don't know. How about this? We'll just close this vacuum. How about that, huh? We'll do that for a second. We'll leave that bubble in the chart right beneath Slitterhead.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, dude. This sucks. It sucks ranking these. There were too many great games this year.
Yeah.
Most years I would have something to say that was really like specific about any game I wanted to bring down. But this year it's like, what am I going to say about Tactical Breach Wizards? Fucking nothing. I don't have shit against it. Bob, do you have shit against it?
Not really. Like I mentioned before, I don't find it that funny, but I think the mechanics are really good, so I'm not gonna.
Right. So what's the matter?
Yeah, who cares?
Okay, but have you considered that Shadow is the ultimate life form?
I do consider this pretty often. Unfortunately, every time I consider it, I hear it in Keanu Reeves' voice.
This is the ultimate.
Oh man, Lords of Shadow would have been great with Keanu Reeves.
Oh my god.
Keanu Reeves can improve most things if we're being real.
Yes.
Oh, Slitterhead with Keanu Reeves.
Oh man, this low budget game. Uh-oh.
We might have a problem.
Just text box after text box. Whoa.
Yeah, and the thing is, it does that thing Slitterhead does where it fades in anew like pose they're in 3D, transparent, superimposed over the whole screen. So it's just Keanu Reeves taking a bunch of poses. Okay, I'm gonna bring up Shadow Generations. We'll do that. And we'll look at that and we'll think about that. So real quick recapping for our viewers. Starting at number 6, it goes Crow Country, East 10 Nordics, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Kunitsugami Path of the Goddess, and in number 10, Lorelei and the Laser Eyes. 11, 12, and 13 are Tactical Breach Wizards, Slitterhead, and Shadow Generations. And now you understand why this is a problem we're dealing with.
Yeah.
Bob, how strongly do you believe in Kunitsugami?
I like it a lot. It almost got like it almost beat Grand Blue for me. Like it's really high up there, but
So you would say Kunitsugami is better than Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
I would.
But Chris would say Final Fantasy VII Rebirth might be the third best game of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Herein lies the problem.
Yeah, I'm going to fight to keep Rebirth above Kunitsugami.
Now, Aggro, you think Lorelei is really great.
I do, but since we're talking about the combined list, I understand that is that game is for me.
You can have something for you on the list.
Yeah, that's happened in years past.
I was able to campaign to get Bayonetta 3 on the list.
Right. No, but
That's true.
I am attempting to walk the path of cowardice and not claw both of my games that were basically tied on my list. I kept going back and forth, not try to push them both up as a package.
I've seen weirder things happen during Game of the Year. Hey, Chris.
Yeah.
What if this list went, instead of starting at 7, East 10 Nordics, 7 Rebirth, Kunitsugami, Lorelei? What if it went East 10 Nordics, Shadow Generations, 7 Rebirth, Kunitsugami?
Sure.
Now, are they going to let us get away with it?
That would.
What are we killing?
We're just bringing
we
Shadow
killing?
Generations above 7 Rebirth.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Which would knock. Well,
It would knock Lorelei currently out of the top 10.
It would knock them out of the top 10.
But, you know, I'm just saying it's a mental exercise. We can shuffle it around.
We can, yeah.
This sucks.
I'm sitting here like,
this is like the roughest this has ever been because there are so many great games this year.
do I want to suggest shooting Grand Blue Fantasy Relink in the head to get more of these things up here?
Fuck no.
Yeah, I
Jesus,
feel too
no.
strong. Like this may be the best year we've had for a lot of these things. Like there isn't any funny thing we can blow the brains out of, I don't think.
Yeah, remember that time we did Resident Evil Dirty, and then that other time we did Resident Evil Dirty?
Like one of those times, I'm sure I had it coming.
Yes.
Considering it was 3 remake and I think Village, I think both times it had it coming. We sure as fuck didn't shoot 4 remake.
No, that's true.
I know I'm looking at this list skewed because I understand that I'm extremely outnumbered about Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, a game I just don't care about.
I wouldn't say extremely.
I also would be okay with it dropping out of the top 10 list entirely, but I understand it's like number 3 for Chris, so I don't want to do that.
Right. Mm-hmm. And I respect.
Yeah, I'd be fine with it dropping to 10, but
okay,
I would like it to at least be at 10.
Let's put it at 10. And then we'll figure things out from there. Because I don't. Again, there are many amazing things in 7 Rebirth. Mm-hmm. I enjoy many things inside of that game. The combat is none of it. And the story at the end really, really isn't it. In fact, I kind of wish I didn't beat that game at all. So that way I could enjoy the overworld and not think about the ending.
Yeah, that's why I did literally everything except the ending before that.
Yeah, that was very smart of you.
Mm-hmm. There's lots of joyful stuff there.
The true Dan Video Games move, which I considered this whole time, was just literally not even playing the game until the next one was out. You know, like the Ava rebuild films
Yeah,
when
no,
I
that-
waited
that
from the
would-
first one until the last one was.
Honestly, that's probably what you should do.
Yeah, that's what I should have done. But then I thought
I
would-
see the logic with that, but at the same time, it's like there wasn't even a fucking cliffhanger. Who cares?
Oh, there was a lot of frustrating things up in the air.
Yeah, that's true, but I didn't feel I don't feel like any of them would have been alleviated. I guess you wouldn't have to wonder
Right. The thing is,
if
you
the
just wanna
frustration
shove-
will persist.
Right. You just want to be able to go through all of it. Like, that's the other big problem with Rebirth for me. It's a third of a game.
Right.
It's not a whole game.
I mean, yeah, that's the weird thing. It's like this is a giant third of a story.
Yes.
This is massive. Whereas Shadow Generations is a whole story. It's somehow half a game.
Whole story and half a game. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like we can say that about a lot of other not Shadow Generations.
Which one of these do you want? A whole story that's half of a game, or a third of a story that's a gigantic fucking game?
Okay, let's see. What other ones?
Yeah,
I'd also feel terrible shooting Crow Country out. Like, it's really good.
Yeah,
It is really good.
It wasn't in my top 10, but I don't want to shoot it. It's a very neat game.
Yeah, it made everyone's runner-ups or top 10.
Right?
That's why this year's a nightmare. You know, there's an argument to be made that me not getting Slitterhead into the top 10 gives it more street cred. And I get to go, yet another time that director has been scorned by the mainstream media.
For having a game with one environment.
Yes. And maybe 2 enemies.
That's true. It's true. Maybe there's a reason I'm not pushing too hard for Slitterhead here.
Yeah.
Maybe my love of Slitterhead is
But yeah, I feel like
unrelatable.
as much as I like Kunitsugami, to get another aggro game on the list, maybe we should drop it. Because he doesn't have a lot of representation up here.
Okay, Aggro. You got to choose your game based on your ally. Now, I'm here with you and Lorelei in the parking garage from hell. And I think Bob/Chris is there with you on Tactical Breach Wizards.
I'd be fine with Iser, honestly. Because every
I would.
every screenshot from Lorelei's.
We need a little artsy cred. We can raise Lorelei in the laser eyes.
Wait, we need artsy cred. I just killed Slitterhead.
I just dropped out Kunitsugami.
No, I mean pretentious artsy, not Gorehouse artsy.
Ah, God damn it.
I just saw the Shadow Generations up there again. Jesus. Hey,
Well,
maybe.
yeah.
let's
I mean,
just-
it's what's. I mean, we were just putting it there.
yeah, we're just testing the waters.
Shadow Generations just happens to be in 8th place right now. That's all.
Okay. Now, let me see how Bob feels about this, because I think Bob wanting Kunitsugami to get up there is fair. What if Shadow Generations went up one and we slit the throat of East Nordics?
I think that's actually fair. I actually think that's fair.
And I'm willing to do this because fuck you. Why'd you announce a new version? You know what? You can be in our top 10 when that fucking thing comes out.
Ooh, punitive
Asshole.
placing.
No,
know what?
I'm there completely with that.
I agree. You know, like as much as I'm like, Shadow Generations shouldn't be that this high. I'm like, you know what? Screw that. He's Nordics. Get out of here.
Yeah, what the hell? What the hell? So, Aggro, which one of your 2 babies are you going to take on the raft and watch the other one drown?
I don't know. I'm looking at this list. There seem to be 2 open slots in it.
With my Slitterhead right behind it. I disagree.
Maybe it should have swum for the raft.
God damn it. Look, Aggro, just because you went out of your way to play hipster games like Warhammer 40K Space Marine 2 and Metro Awakening VR doesn't mean you just get to have your way with the top 10. What if Shadow Generations went above Crow Country?
I don't know, man.
I mean, I'm not going to say no to that because it's my baby, but at the same time, I don't feel like that's very fair to Crow Country.
No, I just think
like
it's...
if you encourage that behavior, you're an accessory to what I do to Dan.
No, I think this is enormously funny to say out loud. There's no world in which I'm putting fucking Shadow Generations above Crow Country. Shit, I'm half the reason it's here. But it is worth noting, it was on everyone runners up.
It would have been, if our lists went longer, it would have been my 11.
Yeah, mine too. Absolutely. Like it was the runner-up that I felt strongest about.
Well, if these lists were longer, it would still be my number 9 because I gave it 9. But there would be more things beneath it, thus establishing how much better it is. Fuck. Okay.
Okay, well, while that stretches on, I finally landed. I'm gonna bring Tactical Breach Wizards.
Okay.
By virtue of it having a better story and characters and art design.
And Lorelei and the Laser Eye doesn't need you to save it. It's strong and independent. It can make it on its own.
It is true. There's a little bit of that, like, I need more people to play that fucking Tactical Breach Wizards demo.
The Podlord tried.
You and that Podlord.
Mm-hmm. We're in this together.
Okay, so here's what I'm noticing, okay? I'm just throwing this out there. I can't help but notice on individual picks, Chris and Acro both have one that they were the only nominee on, and it's in the top 10.
Okay.
Bob, where's yours and mine? Do we not deserve to get our babies on the top 10? There's only one obvious way to do this. We need to make more room at the bottom.
God.
I'll vote to kill Relink before I vote to kill Rebirth.
But that won't drive engagement.
Right.
The Relink fans are just like, whatever, I'm still in the post game. They don't have time to
They
write
haven't
comments.
looked up since.
So, Bob,
Yeah.
let me look at this real quick. You have Kanitsugami as your number 5, and I have Slitterhead as my number 6. They're like right next to each other.
Yeah. I Jesus.
One moment, I'm thinking about this. What if we gave first place to Tactical Breach Wizards? No one can stop us. There's nothing illegal.
We can stop us.
Don't put me in a position to have to rebuke Tactical Breach Wizards. I love that game.
So obviously better than Unicorn Overlord.
You know what? You win some, you lose some, I guess. Maybe that's the story this year for Dan.
It is interesting that this year, like we said, the tops of our lists have a lot of overlap. We're trying to get the middle and lower ones up. That's new. Usually it's like,
that is new.
only I played this game, but it's the best game. You have to put it on the list.
Yeah. Normally we have individual, like there's not one fucking thing that was third place or higher that we did not have overlap on.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Which makes, when we nail down the top here, very strong, it feels like.
Mm-hmm.
That will be a broadly very strong endorsement from us. Hey, Bob.
Hey.
There's something I'm noticing about the bottom here.
Yeah.
Shadow Generations landed, let me see. Where is it on Chris's list? It is Chris's number 8. Meanwhile, Slitterhead is my number 6. I'm just noticing. But see, that's the thing. I also know Shadow Generations is really great, and that's why I helped Chris bring it up.
Yeah, you want to kill it.
Now I'm like, wait a minute. Slitterhead's like way better. A thing Sonic fans will totally understand hearing.
Yeah, no.
Fans of really cool cutscenes and a hedgehog being dubbed by Keanu Reeves will understand why my PS2 game with no money is based. This fucking sucks. I hate this. Normally this is more movement, more excitement. This feels like trying to stare a brick wall to death.
Right?
We've never had a year where the top 6 were just like instantly calcified.
Yeah, like they just get to roam up there.
Right.
It feels like. And then the bottom 20 can fuck off is how it feels. Yeah. You know what? Yeah. Yeah. Slitterhead doesn't need your approval. Slitterhead's gonna do its own thing. Because Slitterhead's too cool for your fucking list.
Its own thing. Looked at notes. Bankrupt the company.
Beg for money.
I don't think that game's bankrupting shit unless that company's office was in a cardboard box.
Yeah, I think it was made.
I don't think Slitterhead is breaking the bank.
Look, it took them 4 years to make for some reason. I am legitimately worried that they might not get another game out. Yeah. I'm there day one the next time they do, though. And then, dear listener, I will get it into this top 10. Because that time, it'll have money, right? And more people than me will appreciate it.
With voice actors removed, I think like 150 people worked on that game. And a lot of those were localization and executives who, of course, did nothing.
Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about the bottom 4 here, then. Let's just assume nothing else is getting up here. And this is locked in. Is this how people feel?
So, okay. If I'm honestly expressing my feelings,
Yeah.
they are that I don't know anything about Shadow Generations other than the hype it has received. I don't care about 3D Sonic games. So I would move it down, but am comfortable with it staying where it is if it lives up to its reputation.
You know how you felt during the good parts of Sonic 3, Aggro? Shadow Generations is better than those.
That's exactly what I was thinking about.
The good parts of Sonic 3 and Knuckles, Sandopolis.
No. No.
It took me a while to realize, oh, he means the movie. Okay.
Oh, did he mean the movie? Did you mean the movie?
Sandopolis?
No one likes Sandopolis. That's the joke. Only a fucking freak would like Sandopolis. Aggro, please tell me you do not like Sandopolis.
I didn't play 3 a lot.
Okay.
Big Sandopolis, though.
Big fan. Didn't play it a lot. Definitely got to the and Knuckles part.
Yes.
I would submit we should put Tactical Breach Wizards above Shadow Generations for one reason, and that is it is a whole cohesive game in and of itself, and Shadow Generations is, one, modeled after and grafted onto one of the most limp dick Sonic games, because holy shit, the story for Sonic Generations sucks, and that is not a great Sonic game. I'm sorry, you're really mad right now. I'm sorry, listener, you're really mad, but it's true. It's literally, like I said about Frontiers and like I said about Shadow Generations just now, I want a story that does not take place in a void and is nostalgia pandering. However, while we're doing that, yes, Shadow Generations is way better at that than Sonic Generations.
I will accept Shadow Generations going down, but it doesn't have TAA, so I would like it to stay above Kinitsugami.
Kinitsugami is very strong with the TAA. That's for sure.
Does Pisser fix Kinitsugami?
They didn't
do a
it.
pro version.
Yeah.
Ah, Capcom.
I know. God. Bob.
Yeah.
Taking your feelings and Chris's into account, do you think Kinitsugami should be 10th and 7 Rebirth should go up to 9th?
I don't, but I'm willing to accept it.
I'm fine with Rebirth being a 10.
Okay.
I don't feel the need to push it up.
See, here's the thing. I feel a void of emotions towards Kinitsugami because I still don't know what that game is. Bob's described it, and I've created a parallel abstract of the game that might have nothing at all to do with the game in action.
Mm-hmm.
And this is my fault.
The whole time playing it, I was like remembering things Bob said, and I'm like, oh, all of those concepts are real and make sense now.
Did you finish it, Aggro?
No, I did not.
It takes some darker turns, and I think it has some very interesting things. Super, like, back half of it.
Darker turns in the back half of it. Well, let me tell you about a game called Slitterhead.
There's also more than one enemy.
God damn it, no! I'm so easily defeated by 2 enemies. I'm just gonna, anytime I'm defeated by something stupid, turn into Gonard from fucking Kappa Mikey. No, not 2 enemies! So, sounds like Chris was okay with it staying at 10. 7 Rebirth. You're okay with Kinitsugami at 9th, I hope.
Yeah, no, it doesn't need to go. It doesn't need to topple Shadow Generations or Tactile Breachers. It's fine.
Shadow Generations is possibly the most positive I've been about a 3D Sonic game that didn't have adventure in the title.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I wish Sonic 06 was done, though.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Everyone painted that whole game as being complete dog shit, but it was actually a really great game with a shitload of technical problems.
Maybe they'll eventually get to it and fix those technical problems, and everybody can go, oh, this is mostly fine now.
Oh, yeah, no. If they went in and just did a remaster of Sonic 06, it might be one of the greatest Sonic games somehow. It'd be fucking weird. It'd honestly be great. And it would make the world's most insane people feel vindicated in a way that makes them very dangerous. You like this game? Yes, I think it's great that Shadow gets his fun action toys. I think he should get the vehicle playset, and I think it's poggers.
I kind of wish he got those in Generations.
It would have been great, honestly. They were like, "No, you don't get a speedboat. You get like weird darkness skimming the water powers." And I'm like, "Oh, that's cool, but what if it was a G.I. Joe playset?"
What if instead of darkness powers, he kept unlocking different playsets?
We need another Sonic character who's just that idea, right?
Yes.
That's what they should do.
Yeah, I guess that could be a Tails. Like he's
an inventor.
He's an inventor, exactly. So
there's a little bit different energy to I made this thing and oh cool, I got a new toy. I want a Sonic character who's like 8 years old who's just like, oh, I got a new toy. This is great. Anyway, that's not what this podcast is, though. We need to get back on topic. So is everyone good with the bottom 4 here? Tactical Breach Wizards, Shadow Generations, Kinitsugami, and Final Fantasy VII Rebirth?
I'm pretty happy with that set.
I'm fine with that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Just to be clear, I'm deeply resentful of that, but there's nothing I can do about it.
Yeah, if you chose like Romancing Saga 2 or Helldivers 2, I'd probably be totally down for being like, yeah, bring it up. Knock something else out.
Yeah.
But Slitterhead, I'm like, yo, that game's grungy. I don't know, man.
That game's gross. I think it gave me tetanus. No. Yeah, because what am I gonna do? Be like, let's bring Romancing Saga above 7 Rebirth? I don't think I'm getting away with that one. Damn.
I'll be with you, Dan, but I don't think we're going to push that through.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna happen because I didn't give Romancing Saga my fucking number. What was it? Chris gave 7 Rebirth his number 3. I don't think I'm getting away with that. It's my number 7.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'll have to live with that. Let's talk about this top 6. Going through that again. Our number 1 currently, Metaphor Refantasio. Our number 2 currently, Astrobot. Number 3, Unicorn Overlord. Number 4, Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. And number 5, Grand Blue Fantasy Relink. Number 6, Crow Country. Now, here's the fucked up thing. I feel like a Dragon Infinite Wealth should go above Unicorn Overlord, but elsewise, I think this is correct already.
I'd be okay with that, but I also would be okay with it staying where it is since only 2 people played it.
It is really rough that we're the only two people who played it, but we both almost gave it our number one. It really was neck and neck here with Astrobot.
And at least Bob got to experience a good bit of it before Dan sealed him in the grind chamber.
Yeah, I was like, man, the main story seems incredible. Oh my god, he keeps doing. What's he doing? These side stories are awful.
I'm doing everything. No, they're great. See, Ichiban walks up to a dude who thinks he's the waiter that he hired online. And then Ichiban's like, I'm telling you, man, I'm not that guy. And he's like, well, I need someone and he's not showing up. Oh, can you be a waiter? So then you got to take these orders for these tables. You got to make sure you remember the way they ordered them. And then you do it correctly. And at the end, the guy's like, thanks, you really saved my day. And the other guy shows up and he looks nothing like Ichiban, but he has an afro.
Oh my god. Yeah, of course.
And Ichiban goes, that guy looks nothing like me. And then it plays its comedic bit sound.
I know that sound.
Bob, there are characters in this game that are going to haunt me for the rest of my fucking days, and I'll never have a good instance to reference them. Chris, did you get to the Coffee Brothers with the comedy bit?
Yes, I did. That was yet another. Just kill YouTubers. Just kill them all.
Yeah, no, I can't tell you how many times since doing that story bit, I've just been like, back to the grind. Because that's their catchphrase, because they're a terrible Japanese comedy duo.
But yeah, I'd be okay with taking it up over Unicorn Overlord, because that game does seem to have such a massive effect on you. But of course, Aggro is the one you really need to fight with, because he gave it his number one.
Yeah, like everything I've heard about Infinite Wealth, I believe you when you tell me that it should go above Unicorn Overlord, but it will be over my protest.
Yeah, I think we need to leave Unicorn Overlord alone, because Bob and Aggro gave it 1 and 2 just like we gave Infinite Wealth, but you also gave it 3, Nan.
Oh, I know. No. I'm not here being like Unicorn Overlord isn't great. All these games are fucking great.
But what if...
As dull an ending as it is, I'm kind of okay with the top 6 being frozen.
Bob, what were you saying? What's your what if?
What if we move Astrobot below Unicorn Overlord, and then last or like a dragon above Astrobot?
You're asking, what if Dan's number one slipped to 4th?
Yes.
Right? I was like, Bob, I was thinking it. I'm like, I'd be okay moving it up, but I think Dan might have suffered enough.
Right?
Yeah, no, I didn't give up the bottom of this fucking list to get my number one shot in the head. Slipped down all the way to fucking 4th. Why don't you try the indignity of and also put it below Grand Blue and Crow Country?
Yeah, I only gave it number 10, and even I'm not sure I sign on for that. What if we moved Grand Blue down and Crow Country up?
Oh.
I'm okay with that. I understand. Crow Country is very cool.
No.
Yeah, no, like as this list's biggest Crow Country stan, even I'm like, oh, I don't think the amount of joy it has produced supersedes Grand Blue Fantasy Relink.
Man, we really are stuck.
Yeah, honestly,
we don't have to move anything else. We can lock it in.
This is fucking insane, though. This was the most locked in the part we had to battle was the bottom 4.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's how things be. It was a great year for games, and there won't be a gaming industry that in 2025. So it might be. It's a great hurrah.
Here's the great thing: almost all of these games are from Japan.
Yeah, it's like the least affected. Like Square Enix is probably going to drop off, sure, but
yeah, like I'm sitting here looking at this, and it's like a bunch of indie games and Japanese games.
Japan, indie, Japan.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just go look at our prior years to see, because I feel like yes, of course there was a bias towards Japan. Of course that existed.
Right, of course.
But was it always? No, I'm already looking because we
had like Doom Eternal and stuff.
Yeah, we had Alan Wake 2's our number 2 last year.
Oh yeah, man, what a crazy list out of nowhere game near the end of the year.
Yeah, and then indie stuff like Pseudo Regalia, Puzzling Places, Pistol Whip.
You know what, Dan? I have Metaphor at number 1.
Yeah,
I am willing to drop Kunitagami out if you want to bring Slitterhead in, but it should probably go in under Rebirth. Jesus, are we serious?
My only regret is that we cannot put it above 7 Rebirth, and then people have to walk down a hall past me for the rest of the year as I look at them smugly. Yeah, I got away with it. Like
That sounds funny. Do it.
Yeah,
As long as Rebirth's on the list, I'm not going to argue too much.
My game was made with $20. I spend more at Cookout than they spent on the game. Thank you, Bob. Enormously gracious, Bob. Always kind. Oh, I just put it in the gap. Kunitsugami went in, and it just ended up above 7 Rebirth because of that. That's an accident, but it's too complicated to fix at this point. I feel like this is spreadsheets are hard, listener.
I feel like this is not the time to make Slitterhead being above Final Fantasy VII Rebirth political. We need to move forward and focus on unity.
No, I'll put 7 Rebirth above Slitterhead. I'll do it. Don't worry about it. We're good. That's stupid. Don't even.
You're right, Aggro. It is time to destroy Unity.
Oh, don't worry. They're doing a good job of doing that themselves. It's amazing.
They do that themselves, yeah.
I heard so many people be like, it's going to be a really long time before, oh God, what is the name of it? Godot, yeah. It's going to be a really long time before Godot is a viable engine. And then I saw countless games that were relevant this year come out on Godot, and I'm like, I think they're here, guys. I think enough people made the move your Unity project over to Godot tutorials. Including Mike Acton, of all people. That it's like, oh God. I don't think next year's going to have a lot of Unity games.
It doesn't feel like that.
I feel better about this list already. Slitterhead's on it. I got Slitterhead in at number 10. That was one of the most powerful fucking experiences of that year to me. I'm all sorts of jazzed.
I feel bad that I'm just sitting here like, I want to move more things. Even though it's like, you don't need to. It's fine. Everything's fine right now.
I mean, honestly, if you want to move either Unicorn Overlord or Like a Dragon above Astrobot at this point, I'd be okay with that. Because I got Slitterhead on this list. I'm now more sated as an individual. Because they're both incredible fucking games.
They're both really good.
Like,
yeah, they're very different.
Yeah.
Ain't that the fucking truth?
Yeah, I think that for me, Astrobot was 3 and the Unicorn Overlord was 2. And it's like, obviously that was up in the air.
Yeah. And for me, Astrobot was 1 and Unicorn Overlord, I believe, was 3rd. Let me go look. Yeah, Unicorn Overlord was 3rd. So right now, we're literally landing almost where I did, except for my number 1 is number 2, but my number 3 is number 3. So I can't complain. I think I'm good here. But I am totally down to hear out any proposals, any single one, no matter how wild, even if it involves, well, I think Trails Through Daybreak should replace Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Whoa. I mean, I will support it if Chris wants that. I don't think Chris wants that.
No, I don't want that.
I was like, what is this?
This is what you're into. No, I'm not.
Now, had this been Reverie, maybe. But that game came out 2 years ago. 1 year ago.
Whatever. We're in COVID time. It was forever ago.
Yeah, time has no meaning anymore.
So no one has any proposals? Because again, I'm willing to hear it out. I got Slitterhead on the list. I'm fucking walking on clouds.
I don't know. I'm pretty comfortable with this list.
Yeah, like I got more of the stuff that I loved up than I'm used to getting on these lists. The only thing I would say is the thing I said before of like I would move Unicorn Overlord over Astrobot, but it wouldn't bother me to leave it where it is.
I think it's more broadly true to bring Unicorn Overlord above Astrobot. I think.
That does.
Let me look at that.
More with our lists, I think.
Well,
We do have a
Isn't
reputation
Astrobot is
for
on
being...
everybody's
yeah,
list. I
Astrobot's on
think.
everyone's list, but Unicorn Overlord isn't on Chris's, so never mind.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's true.
It's
Yeah, it
almost
would have
like
been 12 on mine.
it's almost like the vote numbers how it got above it.
Whoa.
Tough year.
Yeah, man.
Jesus. Oh, thank God this year will be so much easier.
Already has 2 games in my top 10 to come out in my first month.
Dude, my number 1 just came out. You know how absurd that is? I've never, ever nailed a game of the year so fast as Dynasty Warriors Origins. It's just like, even Gran Turismo had the dignity to come out like in March.
Right.
Yeah, I always think back to the Octopath Traveler 2, February.
There's something really soothing about knowing you're number 1 that far in advance.
Again, Nintendo's going to shoot us so hard. They might be
That's
a new 3D
true.
Mario.
That's
I can't
true.
lock anything in.
I'm really just saying about like things we know. Because Nintendo could take the top 4.
Yeah.
Again, they announced a Pilot Wings for the Switch 2. I'm done. It's over. I'm going to just become a clown. I might as well become a Nintendo YouTuber. It's over. We're a Nintendo channel now. We don't talk about PlayStation.
Oh, thank God.
That's the point we're at, listener. I'm like, we don't talk about PlayStation. Bob's like, oh, thank God.
Yeah, it's gotten to the point where they're like Microsoft 2, and it sucks.
It's true. It was great. We got to watch Microsoft march down that hole, and now we get to document Sony marching down that hole. So what I'm hearing is everyone's perfectly fine with what this top 10 is?
Yeah, what?
This is the craziest game of the year there's ever fucking been.
It's wild stuff.
What did we even move? One moment. I'm copying the list again to put next to itself to find out what we even did. We've been here for an hour.
Right.
What did we do?
The only thing we actually killed that would have been that was voted on by multiple people was East 10.
Yeah. Yeah.
We took down
And that was
East 10,
punitive.
and we took down Infinity Nikki, and we brought
Yeah, but that
up,
wasn't really taken even down because it was just so many things were 7s.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I'm just literally looking at this list to figure out what all actions even occurred. Yeah. Okay, so we did do some things while sitting here for this long. I think we're good. I think we got it.
Yeah,
Yeah, weird.
it was just that kind of release schedule. A lot of games that we all liked came out.
And they were great. Like, that's the crazy part. Normally, there's a glaring flaw or a deficiency. You know, normally we would end up with a lot more Vision Amana type sort of experiences, it feels like. But
Yeah, my son is nobody tried to argue metaphor down at all. It's just like, yeah, no, it's just
no, yeah.
Yeah, no,
number one.
like even as I put Unicorn Overlord above it, I was going like, look, it's okay. You're going to win.
Yeah. It's like everybody just looked at their framed picture of Luis and went, for you.
Am I the person who gave it the... Yes. Because I see second place, first place, second place, and I gave it fifth. Which, again, not easy. Fifth in this case. These games are so incredible this year. Nintendo is our only hope to get another year like this in a row. It feels like.
no GTA 6 and max up top of every one of our
Dude,
lists.
it would fucking whip ass if we were able to come here next year and be like, Death Stranding 2, Ghost of Yotei, and GTA 6 are our top 3. That would be fucking something, man.
Assassin's Creed Shadows are right up there, number 4.
Okay, now, come on now. We're trying to be serious here. Wouldn't that be something, though?
That would be something.
That would be something. When is that shit coming out now?
March 3rd? Something like that.
Okay, cool. Well, we did it. Finally, here, all the way in February of 2025, we have finished deliberating. We have for you the top 10 games of 2024. Going from 10th to first place. Slitterhead at number 10. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth at number 9. Shadow Generations at number 8. Tactical Breach Wizards at number 7. Crow Country at number 6. Grand Blue Fantasy Relink at number 5. Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth at number 4. Unicorn Overlord at number 3. Astrobot at number 2. And Metaphor Refantatio at number 1. It is, in fact, our game of the year. 2024. Let's just all agree not to release RPGs all at the same time again.
Oh, yeah, please.
God.
I love
Yeah,
RPGs. Please slow down.
A little.
A little bit.
You even threw in Fantasia at the last minute.
That was the only thing holding this list back from being even harder mogged by RPGs.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
God. The executive producers for this GigaBoots video are Esme, Ely Broyles, Spaceman Spiff, Red Blaze 27, Brendan O'Sullivan, A Reminder for Symphony of War, Cooper Tank, Very Best Plot, Iconic Bane, and Rado. Thank you very much to our executive producers. And also these guys. If you want to become an executive producer or normal patron, head on over to patreon.com/gigaboots today.